went on to become Bishop of Southwark, was 81. His controversial views earned him the title the Red Bishop. And the Wiltshire man who proved that you're never too old to drive has also died today. 102-year-old Kenneth Leach from Chippenham died just after days he last drove his treasured Hillman Avenger. Ken got his first driving licence in 1921, before the days of driving tests, and was still at the wheel 74 years later. An animal sanctuary in Somerset has been inundated with offers of a new home for one of its latest arrivals. The baby Shetland pony called Starlight was only a few days old when she arrived at Fern Sanctuary near Chard. And that's the latest news from us. Good evening.
HTV weather from the Weather Department.
Good evening. It's been a fairly grey and cloudy day over much of the region, with low cloud drifting, but at least it's been mostly dry. On the satellite you can see a bright band of cloud lurking out to the northwest of Britain, and the bad news is that means rain tomorrow. Taking a close look at the national picture, by midday on Saturday, that rain will stretch from the northeast of England across Wales and back into southern Ireland. Hard to find a sunny spot, but there will be some brighter weather either side of the rain, but with wintry showers as well over Scotland. On the whole, though, it'll be a windy but mild day. Closer to home, it's turned out to be quite mild today. After the start, temperatures have been rising steadily and not going to get much colder during the night. Temperatures will fall to about 8 Celsius, 46 Fahrenheit. The time will generally dry. Shop early. Saturday will be dry in the morning. There'll still be a fair amount about especially for Wiltshire and North Dorset, will have most of those sunny spells. The band of cloud and rain we mentioned earlier will creep closer, arriving in Gloucestershire, parts of even Somerset towards the end of the afternoon. So most of the region will get away with a dry day. The rain itself will be fairly light and patchy, but once it does arrive, it will stick around through the night. Temperatures on Saturday will be mild again, reaching 10 or 11 Celsius high. After a mild night, Sunday will begin cloudy with further outbreaks of light rain and drizzle. These shouldn't be too heavy or prolonged, so it shouldn't be a bad morning. And the afternoon will be much the same, still mostly cloudy with the occasional drop of light rain and becoming windier. In fact, there'll be a strong southwesterly whistling up the Bristol Channel, which might make it a bit wild if you're thinking of sailing there at the weekend. Temperatures 12 Celsius, that's 54 Fahrenheit. So a reasonable weekend to look forward to. Catch that sunshine if you can. Have a great weekend. Good night.
The HTV 7-day weather line 0336 41 40 40.
Stay with us for the topical talk show where you do the talking. Leighton Live is next.
Now from £791, the Australian Tourist Commission and Qantas give you Australia. Get the free Traveller's Guide. Call 0345 02 2000. Let yourself go.
Some cars in the £10,000 range can seem a little flat. There's no electric sunroof. Or they have a sunroof, but no metallic paint. Or they have metallic paint, but where's the airbag? Or an airbag, but no power steering. But the Citroën ZX Dimension has the whole shooting match for only £10,595. And a year's free insurance. The Citroën ZX Dimension. Discover what Citroën can do for you.
Fee, fi, fo, oh dear. Once Upon a Time is a magical collection of fairy tales and tapes.
Jack set off. He hadn't gone far when he...
Each beautifully drawn story comes with its own cassette.
And the giant said,
Part 1 is the enchanting story of Snow White, and it comes with this special free case. Once Upon a Time, out now.
At 12:10 tonight, we've coverage of the Liverpool Victoria Charity Snooker Challenge. Now, though, it's big, it's bold, and it's back, late and live.
Late and Live, the topical talk show where you do the talking. Your host, Dave Barrett. Thank you. Thanks very much indeed. Good evening. Welcome to a brand new series of Late and Live. It's great to be back. And we've got two brand new presenters to introduce you to. Let's get our audience talking them as well. Katrina Buchanan is our first one. Hi, Katrina. Welcome. And also, big round of applause for Fenella George. Fenella, join us. Well, they look quite a friendly lot, don't they, don't you think?
They look gorgeous.
OK, in fact, we have a brand new HTV 100ers. This is a new series, and here they are. Look at them. Not bad. And Katrina will tell us what's on tonight's show.
Now then, have you ever been hypnotised? Or at least you might have seen other people under the influence, perhaps on television or on stage. You might even have seen some of the press coverage of claims that one man has had the mind of an 8-year-old since he was hypnotised last year. Well, tonight we have a stage hypnotist, Alexander, with us, and later you'll be able to find out what really goes on in those adult shows. Now, 1994 will be remembered as a year of sleaze, full of lurid tales of the hijinks and shenanigans of numerous MPs, former Defence Minister and diarist Alan Clark, Mrs Valerie Harkis and her 2 daughters, Lady Bienvenida Buck, or however you say it, and so on. And with us tonight is the man behind the publicity for some of them. Give me a break. Max Clifford will be in the hot seat. He was publicist for Antonia de Sancha, who had a widely reported fling with alleged Chelsea football supporter David Mellor. And on our soapbox, it's Kate Pascoe, and she's up in arms about breastfeeding in public. More later.
Well, I'll be here waiting to take your calls because, of course, we want to hear all your comments and questions on the discussions we're having tonight. As you can see behind me, our lovely ladies are getting ready to take your calls, but don't panic if you can't get through at first. We've actually got quite a lot of lines to get dialing. The number to call is 0272 722 555. That's 0272 722 555. Or if you'd rather fax us and get it all down on paper, our fax number is 0272 722 522. My goodness, they're ringing already. That's pretty quick. Well done. Get dialing. Dave.
Well, now, is there such a thing as kind veal? This is veal on the menu of many a good local restaurant, but in this case cooked to perfection by our own HTV chef. It's pale, tender, and some say delicious, but it's all those things because it's come from a calf reared by the veal crate system. This means that the animals are confined in a narrow pen, hardly able to move, and they're fed on iron-deficient semi-liquid diet until they're slaughtered. The veal crate system is illegal in Britain, but because continental taste demands this white veal, our British calves are shipped live to Europe for slaughter. Take a look at this video footage shot by Compassion in World Farming. Only a couple of days before, the animals in this lorry were with their mothers in the West Country.
At this farm, they're penned on clean straw and fed on lactose. According to the official journey plan, filed with the Agriculture Ministry in Whitehall, this was their final destination in France. Not so. This is just a punctuation mark in their ultimate sentence of death. Scarcely 6 hours after they arrive in Charence, the calves are roused and loaded into another truck, one that will take them more than 500 kilometres through the centre of France. They'll have been in the air or on the road for 20 hours or more. The animals are confused and distressed. These calves, like hundreds of thousands exported from Britain and Ireland, are to be confined in stalls that are banned in the United Kingdom and widely condemned elsewhere. They'll be kept in semi-darkness, tethered, unable to turn round or lie down in any kind of dignity or comfort for 4 months.
Well, there's a growing number of people who object to this trade, and that's why we've seen the protest at Shoreham backing their cause. With us to discuss the issue tonight is Dr. Richard Ryder of PAL, the Political Animal Lobby, ex-chairman of the RSPCA. He's written a number of books on animal rights, and to represent the views of farmers, we welcome the Southwest Regional Director of the National Farmers Union, Anthony Gibson. Welcome to both of you. If I could start with you, Anthony. We've seen a lot of protests recently. Do you think the British public has cottoned on to modern farming techniques and they don't like what they see?
I think they've cottoned on to a particular thing which we don't like either, which is the fact that calves are being reared in crates on the continent, a system which is banned in this country and should be banned throughout the continent. But there's no point in us banning calf exports unilaterally, because those crates will simply be filled up with Polish calves.
But you're being a bit hypocritical. You're saying you don't like it, but you're still quite happy to export your calves and make money out of it.
Farmers have got to make a living. I don't see it matters what nationality those calves are. Whether they're British calves or Polish calves or Czechoslovakian calves, there shouldn't be calves in those systems. If we ban our exports, calves are simply going to be coming from further afield to go into those crates. The answer is to ban the system. And all these good people here should join with us in trying to get that system banned.
Yes, but you can hardly sell it on the one hand and then still make money out of doing it on the other. Surely that's hypocrisy. Surely that's hypocrisy, to say on the one hand we think it's a bad idea, but we're still quite happy to sell our calves to a system that we think is wrong. That's hypocrisy, isn't it?
What good does it do if a farmer says, I'm not going to sell my calves
to
go into a veal crate, if the calves are going to come in from somewhere else? It makes a lot more sense.
Well, hang on, we'll come to the 100 in a second.
It makes a lot more sense, though, for us, the farmers, to get together with the welfare lobby, the government, and everybody else and say, let's ban the crates throughout Europe. And I'll tell you, something good's happened today. Something good today. The Dutch veal industry has said that if our exporters send calves into Holland, they will guarantee that those calves will not be reared in crates.
Right.
So we are achieving something. That's good.
OK. Before we go to the 100, I just want to go to Richard. Richard, are we being really a bit dewy-eyed about all of this? Farming is a business. It's there to make money. It's there to provide food.
No, we're not being dewy-eyed. We're being absolutely ethical. We're being moral about it. It's something about which everybody's concerned, quite rightly. The suffering of animals, and they're concerned about the suffering of human beings too. It's something that we really care about, and that's absolutely sane and proper and correct.
OK. Let's go to the 100. I'd like a show of hands from the 100 here. How many of you are against exporting of animals, live animals? Quite a few of you. Are you and would I be right in assuming those people with their hands up? Keep your hands up, those people who think that. Are you against animal cruelty, those people with their hands up, yeah? Yeah. OK, how many of those people, keep your hands up if you don't buy eggs? If you don't buy eggs? Well, most of them aren't free range anyway, so the point I'm trying to make here is that, again, aren't you all being a bit unrealistic about this, because most of the eggs you buy are not free range. They may say free range, most of them aren't. Let's get some comments.
Yeah, but you know, they're all eggs that you buy, like, you know. I mean, you've got millions and billions of people in this country.
So you
know
think
what I mean? And everyone's got to be fed.
Right.
You can't have them all running around on farms, can you? You know what I mean? Is
So
that true or is that true or not?
You don't mind battery hens?
I don't like it, OK?
But you'd still buy the eggs? OK, well, the point I'm trying to make here, aren't you lot being as hypocritical as, you know, some people say our farmers are? You should buy stuff. Yeah, a lady on the front row, yeah?
I'm a strict vegetarian. I don't agree with any cruelty or any animals. You know, it's just not right. And you know, there should be a law passed, like for the veal, etc. That you know, they shouldn't be put in crates, and that it's just not humane. If you're going to kill animals, you should do it in a humane way.
OK, gentleman at the back, sir, very back row.
I totally agree with the representative of the farmers there. The farmers are there to make a profit. They've got to make a living. But what they should be pressurising is that we do away with the ill treatment wherever it is, whatever country.
Yeah, yeah.
We don't do it in our country, and we shouldn't do it abroad. We should be fighting to stop the ill treatment abroad, not sending our products there.
Should we be stopping our calves going there at the same time, or should we continue to send them?
On a short term, yes, but if that achieves nothing, then we've got to send them, because if we don't send them, somebody else will.
All right, who said
and
no,
we
shouldn't stop sending them? Who said no? Gentleman on the front row, sir. Why not?
I mean, basically, there's a big problem. We shouldn't be sending this because you're sending out the wrong signals. You're being hypocritical. You've got a problem in that, OK, fine, we don't agree with it, but I'll keep making money. And you see calves, and they are described by farmers as a waste product from a dairy herd. Right? How can you, having a pecuniary interest in this whole affair, actually sit there and say, we're against cruelty and we're against this, when all you're after is minimum cost, maximum profit? End of story.
Do you want to answer that?
Well, but, you know, basically, you can't get away from it. Farm animals exist to be eaten. That's what they're there for. Now, within that, they should be treated humanely. We should have systems that allow them to express their most basic instincts, and when the time comes for them to be slaughtered, they should be slaughtered humanely, as the lady said over there. But I come back to the point, we're not achieve anything just by banning calf exports from this country. What difference does it make if a calf is British? A calf doesn't know whether it's British or Polish or German.
What would happen to those?
There shouldn't be calves going into those crates.
What would happen to those calves if they weren't sent aboard for veal crates?
They'd be shot.
They'd be shot
at birth. Now,
all right, well, who thinks that's better? Gentlemen,
well,
yeah,
OK, fine. Yeah, but
some people agree with that.
Yeah. Our calves would be shot. Our farmers go out of business.
You lose money.
Our farmers go out of business.
Hang on, gentlemen on the end, sir.
You're not worried about losing money. You're not worried about animals. You couldn't care less about animals.
Well,
you're there for the profit, and you're a doctor of death, my friend.
Yeah, let's go to this side. Hang on, gentlemen at the very back there, sir. Yeah.
I don't think this is really a debate about animal welfare or anything like that, right? What you've got is you've got the Tory MPs, all of these sort of Eurosceptics, that's just another excuse for bashing Europe, right? And then you've got people here basically wanting to talk more about animal rights than they are about human rights. I would much rather see people, instead of being underneath lorries and everything like that, fighting for some sort of decent life for human beings.
It's a fair point. Hang on, lady at the back first. Hold on, lady at the back.
I think the way forward is from, is it Michael Waldegrove, the MP for
William Waldegrove.
William, sorry, not the other party. He's got to drive for a common European policy on exporting of meat, and it's for the British government to drive for a directive on this subject. And without that, unless we petition the government to do so, nothing will get changed.
OK, let's just be realistic about this again. I mean, if these calves are born and they're a byproduct of the dairy industry, what else can be done with them? I mean, what do you expect to happen with them realistically?
Well, a few of them are reared in this country humanely, in straw yards.
But very few.
Well, more could be.
Yeah.
And I think it would be possible to develop more of a taste for the so-called pink veal rather than the white veal.
But we don't buy it in this country. Yeah. We don't buy it in this country particularly, do we? And Europe doesn't like our
yeah, but
veal.
we want common standards. We want, if we get white veal banned on the continent, we can develop our veal industry. At the moment, point over there, our farmers are not on a level playing field with those guys over in the rest of Europe. If we're on an even keel with them, if they have the same welfare standards as we have in this country, there's no problem. We can compete with them. We can export pink veal. And we are, actually. It is growing. Well, they do have a different attitude to animal welfare.
Hang on a sec. Hold on, gentleman over here.
It's a common market again.
Right.
Nothing makes me more sick than seeing these self-satisfied French come on the television and tell us that they want to have white veal. We've got set-aside problems. We've got a problem of overproduction in this country. We've got plenty of places where we could let the calves gamble around like lambs for their 4 months and at least have a pleasant life. We could morally justify it then. I've been a lifelong vegetarian. I've had to be brought up with people all around me, meat eaters. I've been a minority for an awful long time. I know what it feels like. And I can feel for the calves. I've always had to live with people around me who eat meat. Now, why don't we let the calves have a good time? At least say, well, at least we're going to have to kill them, give them 4 months of normal life.
Let me stop you there. Again, though, let me put it back to all of you. Apart from those of you who are vegetarians, and I respect that, aren't you all being a bit dewy-eyed about animals? They're farming there. You know, you go into the supermarket, the meat is pre-wrapped. You know, how do you think it got there? Animals died. They were killed. Lady on the end here. Yeah.
We haven't even got the facilities right for our human beings within our own country.
Can I come back on that one?
No, we haven't even got the facilities right for our disabled people, our infirm people, our hospitals, to provide kidney donors, to provide kidneys or facilities for people who are disabled, ill, not even access to buildings. And they were shouting about animals. We've got it wrong in the nation.
Sure. Gentleman here,
Yeah, too many animal lovers in this country.
Too many money-making people as well.
Yeah. All right. Lady behind. Yeah, lady behind.
Yes, but people can speak for themselves. Animals can't.
All right, OK, animals can't. You wanted to come back on something you said there.
Just as one
Hang on,
point,
let
just
Richard
as one point,
Hang on a sec.
the people actually who are concerned about animals are concerned about humans too. William Wilberforce, who stopped the slave trade, founded the RSPCA. Lord Shaftesbury, who took children out of the factories, also campaigned against animal experiments. I worked 20 years in the health service.
All right, more
no,
points.
it goes together.
More
The
points.
people who
Somebody
care
has a
about
second.
animals
Lady
care
there.
about humans.
People talk about meat. You feed the cattle in an abnormal way. If that was fed properly and it was decent meat, people wouldn't get so damned ill.
Well, I don't think
we're
people...
getting on to be fair, that's a slightly
I
different
was brought
subject.
up in the countryside where animals roam free. I became a vegetarian because I objected to the lifestyle that animals were put through. That's why I went vegetarian.
Yeah, well,
And if you say you stand there and represent farming and everything else, you cannot care for animals if you allow that type of treatment to go on any level.
We don't condone ill treatment. Farmers don't condone
But you're
cruelty.
still
It's
allowing
not.
it to carry on.
If they're not looking after their animals properly,
They're
they're
kept in
not
the dark.
good farmers.
Feel kept up the whole of their lives.
Can I just go on? Somebody said about, you know, why don't you just why do we have to produce veal at all? Because people want to eat veal, and people who like veal are perfectly entitled to eat
Hang on a
veal.
sec, hang on.
And just make one other point. Farmers are not against vegetarians. I respect vegetarians. You eat what farmers grow as well. It just happens to be different farmers. We're not against vegetarians, but there are a lot of people who like to eat meat, and that means killing animals. But it's important that those animals are well looked after, and good farmers do look after them, otherwise they wouldn't be in business.
All right, we've got a chef in audience somewhere. Where's it? There you are, fair set. From one of the top hotels in this area. Michael
wouldn't be
Kitts.
farmers if
Michael,
they were.
you serve veal on your menu, or you have been. Are people now not buying it, or
Yeah.
what's happened?
We've been there 3 years at the Swallow, and it's just declined. The actual people who eat veal now, it actually backfired on us once. We had a function for about 150 when we first opened. I had 3/4 of it come back, and I was running around like a maniac trying to get chicken and beef out to them. People, especially the ladies, don't want to eat
Tell
it
me, as a
nowadays.
chef, what's amazing about veal? Is it a nice meat to cook? Is it better than
It is easy to cook. There's no, there's no different really, but it's just a stigma I think nowadays that goes with it.
Okay, more comments. Lady here. Yeah. Hi. I'll come to you in a second. Lady there.
Well, I'm not a vegetarian, and I do enjoy veal.
Okay.
And I feel that, some of the actions taken by the animal rights activists, okay, they're quite short-sighted, and they're not actually achieving much in the short term or long term. I think if they put more energies into discouraging people like myself from eating veal, and to showing the videos such as we've shown today, and to really get the markets, to quell the market
for sure.
veal, that's a much more productive way ahead, instead of attacking farmers and all the other things that are happening.
Gentleman behind you,
Yes.
sir.
If everyone became a vegetarian, what would happen to the veal calves? Would they all have to be slaughtered for economic reasons?
No, it wouldn't be bread and bread and bread and forced bread. They would have a happy
How
life
would
in
you
the
have a
field and be
dairy?
made
There
for
wouldn't
milk.
be there wouldn't be any calves.
It would have to be controlled, the same as, fox hunting or whatever, it would have to be controlled.
Yes, there's a need for a balance here, I think.
Well, what about dogs, you just, and horses, you don't have to keep, force
Dave,
feeding them,
can I
put them
just
in
say
crates,
something about
you
this?
can't.
Yeah, please do. Can I just say, if everyone went vegetarian, there wouldn't be any grass, there wouldn't be any hedges, because we wouldn't need them. Grass is there for animals to eat, hedges are there for shelter.
Yeah.
Just think what it would do to the countryside. It would be derelict countryside.
It would be natural.
All right, hang on. Let's go to someone who hasn't spoken, actually. Lady there. Yeah. Please do.
These vegetarians and so-called animal carers are wearing leather shoes tonight.
No, mine are
Well, this lady she's wearing clean shoes.
You've got makeup
Gentlemen,
on.
let's get it. Gentlemen at the very back.
I think the only reason we
Hang on a sec. Whoa, hold on. Let's
I
see what
think
he
the
can
only
say.
reason we should be concerned about animal welfare and the conditions they're brought up in is if they taste better in the sandwich. Because ultimately, what's all this talk about being humane? They're not humans, right? They can't think for themselves, they can't make independent actions,
But they can
right?
suffer.
What's this
But
talk
they
about
can
animal
suffer.
rights? Humans fought for rights, animals have never done anything but shit on the floor, right? And eat grass. And why are we so concerned about animals? Let's start worrying about humans. Let's start worrying about what happens when humans get slaughtered in places like Somalia and Haiti by our governments. If you want to get mad about something, get mad about that.
Okay, hang on. The gentleman on the end here. Sir, you disagree with that?
You'd like us just to forget about animals, that's it. So we just concentrate on people completely. Animals are nothing, they've got no brains, no feelings whatsoever. Let's just forget them completely.
That's why you shouldn't forget about them.
They have,
Hang
they're
on a second,
living
I've got
things. The gentleman here said, he said, if we didn't import the calves, then the people from Poland would. Someone somewhere has got to stop And who would be a better leader than us, the British?
Right,
We can say it's no more.
I'll have to stop you all there for a second because we're going to go to Fenella now, who's got some cards and some comments from you at home. Fenella.
Thanks, Dave. Well, as you can see, the lines have been sizzling. The phones are going mad. Just a few comments to pick out first. Derek from Melksham has called. He's a chef. He says that veal is very popular meat, and he buys the best priced veal, whether it's continental or British. There's one point. Also, Mike Diamond from Nolan, Bristol. Farmers have to make a living. Simple statement. There you go. Right, Mr. Lyon from Yeovil, his comment is that protesters are causing more stress, this is an interesting point, causing more stress by holding up the lorries. Good point. Finally, our last comment before a question. Mr. Wayne says that the plane that crashed in Coventry did not have a licence. Whatever agreement is reached, people will still go through the back door. And finally, a question from Mrs. Allen from Weston-super-Mare. Why do we export and then buy back veal?
Good question. Maybe someone wants to answer that. Any ideas? Why
Well,
do we-
because we're hypocrites. Yeah,
Perhaps Richard.
Because we're hypocrites.
Because
Why
we're
do people,
hypocrites.
when they go on holiday to Spain and Italy and France, eat a lot of veal that's reared in those crates, and they come back here and they start protesting about it?
I think one thing we've forgotten is that we export 80% of our meat from this country dead. Why do we need to export any alive? It's only the 20% that are going out alive.
Okay.
And can I add a point to this? With that 20% that are going out alive are quite a lot of jobs in this country that could be in slaughterhouses and elsewhere. We are exporting jobs with the live animals.
Right. Anthony, are you not concerned about those pictures we saw, for example, on that video clip? Aren't you concerned about those sort of pictures with animals under those sort of conditions?
We don't like veal crates. We don't have
What about
veal
the way they're
crates. We
transported?
ban
Because this is
veal
also about
crates. Farmers
transportation.
don't like veal crates
What about
in
the
this country.
transportation as well, though, and the rests and all the
transportation
rest of it?
has been bad. It's been cleaned up, and I hope Richard will agree with that. We've got a binding code of practice now enforced on both sides of the channel. The argument's moved on from transport. It's moved on to
Right.
veal crates. And quite right too.
Let-
But if we go on and
No,
get
no,
the
I don't
veal
accept
crates
that. I
sorted
don't
out,
accept that.
they've got to be sorted out in Europe.
Okay, let me put hold on a sec, hang on a sec. Let me put back to the 100 here.
Yes,
if
I don't
we all
accept
want milk and we all want a dairy trade, which we do, you want your pints on the doorstep, what are we going to do about these 1.5 million calves that are born every year that we don't want? What do we do with them? Hang on. Lady here. Yeah.
Why on earth don't we keep the jobs, like you said, here? Why don't you have a go at farming them yourselves? Why can't they be farmed in this country?
Well, they're no good for beef cattle. That's for beef. That's the problem.
The whole
Gentlemen.
thing can be consumer-led, because if we refuse to accept products which have not been properly reared and, you know,
Yes, but are we going to
humanely
refuse
reared-
milk? That's the point. We're not going to refuse
no,
milk,
don't
are we?
refuse
So
milk.
what are we
But
going to
I
do with
mean,
all those
only-
calves?
No, you still produce your calves.
So
You
what do
still
you do
have
with
to.
them?
I mean, rear them properly.
For
slaughter
what?
them humanely.
For what?
For veal, but veal that's properly produced.
Right.
And if consumers then insist that they have veal which is humanely produced,
right,
then, I mean, the trade has got to follow that.
Okay.
If the supermarkets have that
We'll,
demand, they've
we'll
got
come
to
back
raise
and we'll get some more comments in just a second. We're going to go to Katrina now, who's going to tell you about our first vote tonight. Katrina.
Right, now it's your turn at home to phone and let us know what you think about this very emotive subject, because it's time for our phone vote. Now, the question we're asking is, should we ban live animal exports? If you think, yes, we should ban live animal exports, then you call 0891 400 601. And if you think, no, we shouldn't ban live animal exports, then you call 0891 400 602. And you've got 2 minutes to phone in with your responses to this, and you can watch the flags. They'll be indicating how the vote is going. So it's 2 minutes starting from now.
Okay, thank you. Right, let's get some more comments now. Let's go over this side. Gentleman on the front row, sir.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a meat eater. If I really sat down and thought about it, I probably wouldn't eat meat. I'd probably become a vegetarian. Okay. But when it does boil down to the fact, it's a price I'm paying over the counter. That's what matters.
Hang on a sec. Lady here, go on. You need a mic.
Saying
Go on.
is people's ate meat for thousands and thousands of years ago. I mean, used to go out of their cave, smack them over the head, and that's it. They're never going to change. People eat meat. They can't eat meat.
You obviously, mate, and do you worry about whether animals are treated fairly or not, though? Do you think it's an important
I
issue?
disagree with the way they're treated, but you cannot stop people from eating meat, no matter how they're sent across the country, no matter how. I mean,
All right.
half the people here go abroad. If they eat meat, they go to a restaurant and eat veal. They try different meats. I mean, I'm a meat eater. I enjoy my meat, and I ain't going to stop eating it, no matter how
All
they're
right,
treated.
gentleman in front, sir.
If you go into a place and you can't get meat and you're hungry, you will eat vegetables, isn't it?
There's a much
Isn't
better
it?
variety
If you
being
go into a
vegetarian.
place and you cannot get meat and
But
you're
you can.
hungry,
That's the
you
point.
would, no,
You
yeah,
can.
but if there wasn't a choice, right, you couldn't get meat, you would eat veg.
Right. All right. Well, come on, this gentleman here first. Yes.
At the end of the day, whether it's chickens with eggs, cows with milk, or veal, no one likes the way they get treated, but we've got to live, and people are still going to eat it. If there's a market for it.
Okay. Let's come over here. Sir.
Yeah, I think one of the major things we've overlooked is where we buy veal, and that's the major supermarkets. And I read sometime, I think it was last week, that some of the major multiples now in this country are going to stop selling veal in the shops. And
Tesco's, I think, have been the first to
well,
do that.
okay,
yeah.
we'll mention Tesco's. Surely this is a step in the right direction.
Okay.
Basically, what we're talking about here is it's profit over morality, isn't it? I mean, that's what the farmers are on about. They're quite prepared to ship their calves and make the money out of it because they don't have to worry about the morality of rearing them in crates.
Let me put this back to you. I mean, I've put this to you a couple of times, and I still don't think you've really answered it, to be fair. If you think it is immoral to do this, don't you feel that you should stop at least sending out British calves? You may well say, yes, they'll come from somewhere else, but that's not the point, is it? At least the British ones will not go out there and get treated badly. If you really care about animals, you wouldn't do it, would you?
But what will that achieve? It won't achieve anything.
Well, it'll stop
all,
those calves
all
going
it
out
does
and getting treated badly.
is cost our farmers. Why should our farmers shoot themselves in the foot? Why should they put themselves out of business when it's not going to do any good? What point does it do?
All right, hold on a sec. Gentleman on the very end, sir.
Somebody mentioned Tesco.
Yeah.
I heard it mentioned twice tonight. What Tesco hasn't said is how much or what proportion of their meat sales is veal.
Right.
And I would say it's a very, very small proportion. Why they have stopped selling it. Otherwise, they would sell it.
Gentlemen, sir.
Everybody's getting caught up in the veal argument, but surely, what about the animal activists? If veal's banned, then where do they go? They're going to look for something still to be active against, you know what I mean? They're going to go into other things.
Right.
Is it then chicken? Then they go into vegetables, then we'll stop the cauliflower. Let's stop eating cauliflower. Carrots, where does it stop?
Hang on. All right, hold on. We're almost out of time on this, so I'm going to get a final word from both of you on the sofa. Firstly, what do you think is going to happen in the future? Is it going to stop or is it going to continue?
What, the live export trade?
Live export of, particularly for veal.
It will carry on for the time being. I hope we'll get veal crates banned in Europe. I hope we can get, as Richard said, we can get pink veal, humanely reared, exported to the continent, build a decent veal industry in this country. But we can't do that until the rules are the same throughout Europe. That's what we must do.
Final word from Richard Ryder. Richard?
Animals should not be exported from this country alive at all. And within Britain... And within Britain, they should be slaughtered as near as possible to the point of production. No more than an 8-hour journey.
Right, well, we know what the HTV 100 think about this, or most of them. What do people think at home? Katrina's got the answer to that.
Right then, let's see how the voting went with the people from home. And very, very close, the results, but the answer was no. The majority of people who've phoned in have said that we should not ban live animal exports. So that's your verdict on the export of live animals, and there's not much to sing about there, especially if you're a veal calf. But there is something to sing about, of course, if you're Tony Cole. Tony's our resident songwriter, and he's back again for the new series. And each week we set him a topic to write and to sing about. So let's see what he's come up with this week. Tony.
I am a new age man, I try to keep the planet green. I eat courgettes, artichokes and aubergines. My opinions I get from a magazine, and they are recycled every week. But there is a problemette, a little spot of bother in the field of fodder. I just haven't licked it yet, even though I'm quite upset. I'm a guilty, sneaky carnivore. I'm in love with blood and guts and gore. Black pud, tripe and onions, give me more. I'd like to be a veggie, but I can't. I have friends from elephants to mice, but I joined the Foreign Legion before I be a vegan. I could eat noodles, beans and rice, but steak and kidneys twice as nice. Battery farming really is a big disgrace. Cooped up poultry, desperate for breathing space. But these issues I don't really have to face when I'm shopping for the cheapest eggs. Odd how cheap these chickens are. They really are a bargain. I think I'll have a large one. This one looks peaceful, all shrink wrapped. It must have been humanely zapped. Veal, calves, there's a trait we all should shun. Stuffed in crates with ne'er a chance to see the sun. Here, of course, these dreadful things are never done. British farmers are too nice for that. They just sell the calves for dosh, and if the buyers are immoral, it's not the farmer's quarrel. I disapprove of people of that ilk, but we must protect the price of milk. This is my favourite restaurant, it's a place I often go for pâté de foie gras, sales and escalope the go. But how they get their meat so white I never know. It's really think it's better not to ask. Meat's the ultimate main course. Almost anything that moves, just take off the corns and hooves. Except I draw the line at eating horse, because it's barbarous, of course.
Oh, marvellous. Brilliant. Well done, Tony. There'll be some more musical poetry from Tony next week. Now, later tonight, what goes on during a stage hypnotist's show? We'll be finding out before midnight, but join us after the break to talk about whether mums should breastfeed in public places and to meet our hot seat guest, Max Clifford, the publicist, who made a name for Antonia de Sancha, Lady Bienvenida Bach, I think is the way to say it. Maybe not, I never know, and a string of others. That's after the break.
From just £9 a month, Bupa has a scheme to suit just about everybody. Ring free now 0800 600 500.
How do they eat theirs? I like to eat mine in any fashion. Hey.
Oh, is that my cue? My cue. Well, I pot the yellow first, then the brown, but I never let the white go down, of course. That's great, that.
No! Ho, ho! Just the one for me, thanks. Oh.
Cadbury's cream egg. How do you eat yours?
This mild-mannered TV host seems harmless enough, but once a year he becomes...
Spectacle Man! What? No spectacle deals! I can fix that! Buy new spectacles and choose free second pairs, free contact lens trials, and many cash deals where you can save up to £30.
Will you include the lenses?
That's all in a day's work for Spectacle Man!
Oh, don't miss him.
The Courts Winter Sale is on now. There are great savings on all lounge suites, dining furniture, beds, bedrooms and carpets. Everything is reduced in Courts Winter Sale. It's on now, so don't miss it. There's everything for your house in Courts Winter Sale.
Finish have come up with a different form of detergent. Finish tablets. Each concentrated tablet contains exactly the right amount of Finish cleaning power, even for, really dirty dishes like this. Simply pop one in and leave the cleaning to Finish. There. Brilliant. As they say, all good things come in small packages. Brilliant cleaning starts with Finish.
Time is money. So how can Orange help you save it? We charge 1 second at a time for your calls with no rounding up. We include in your £25 monthly subscription 60 minutes of calls. One of 5 monthly price plans with minutes included. Call 0800 286 286 for full information about Orange mobile phones anytime. The future's bright. The future's orange.
Do you have a last request?
Oh, let's get on with it.
Not even some bread and butter?
Bread and... well, that seems quite a nice...
A perfect opportunity to test the claim that new Flora Extra Rich has a superb butter-like taste. See, he will never know that it is a sunflower spread.
High in polyunsaturates.
Low in saturates.
Low in cholesterol.
Delicious.
So, there we have it. New Flora Extra Rich. If you like butter, you find it tastes very like butter.
Hello?
They're a bit excitable, aren't they? Our soapboxer for the new series and from our new HTV 100 is Kate Pascoe. Now, she's the brave individual who's going to kick off our soapbox series with her views on, well, let's hear it from Kate. Now, you've got 1 minute, so good luck.
Women have done it for thousands of years. It's normal, it's natural, it's right for your child. And yet for a large part of the population, breastfeeding is found as dirty and disgusting. I was sat in a local store when the manager came and asked us to remove ourselves. My friend was discreetly breastfeeding her child. He told her she could use the ladies' loos. When she replied, it's against food regulations to eat in there, and would he have his dinner there anyway? He threw us out. If large stores, supermarkets, cafeterias, restaurants don't want women to breastfeed their children there should be a sign at the door and we simply wouldn't shop there. Simple as that.
Right. Well done for being the first on. Okay, so some comments from the 100 then. What did you think about that? Breastfeeding in public. Who thinks it's acceptable for women to breastfeed in public? Yeah. I don't believe you. I do not believe you. Gentleman here, sir, yeah.
It's the most natural way of feeding your child, right?
So you're in the middle of McDonald's or somewhere eating your burger, and a woman comes in, whips out her breast and starts feeding the baby. Would you be happy about that?
I wouldn't. No objection whatsoever. I'm eating, the child's eating.
I'm not sure I believe everybody who said yes. You mean you're being PC tonight, you're being politically correct. I don't believe it. Go on, lady.
Hi, I've breastfed for about 6-7 weeks, and you can do it discreetly. You can sit in the corner, or you can sit in public, shoulder over your shoulder, and nobody will notice. It's up to the individual person what they want to do. Right. If you want to do it, carry on.
So then why should you have to do it discreetly?
Some people are offended.
Lady there, yeah. What do you think?
There is tops for breastfeeding people. If they want to breastfeed their babies, there is tops you can buy to get them breastfed. So people that don't like breastfeeding, they're a waste of space.
Tops, she means tops like blouses. Tops, not tops.
Tops. Sweatshirts, clothes
Lady
you wear.
at the back there, yeah, with your hand up. What do you think?
Breastfeeding is the most natural thing in the world, and women do not lob out their breasts. Can I just say, in the summer, I was in Cornwall in Flambards, and I had a lady sitting about as close to me as this lady is here, and she was actually breastfeeding her own baby, and I didn't even realise until she'd finished.
Well, you could say going to the toilet's the most natural thing in the world.
Yes, but you don't do that in public.
Yeah, all right. Is there anybody who is offended by it, who would be offended by it in a restaurant or
There's always a dinosaur, Dave.
Yeah, well, there's a few here. Let's a lady here, yeah.
I think that whilst it's the most natural thing in the world, you've got to have empathy with other people. And that, there are facilities now. There are facilities now.
The ladies' loos.
No. Boots, Mother Care. I checked my local area. There are eight shops which provide mother rooms for facilities to provide breastfeeding, and there are 20 other places within the town centre which welcome breastfeeding mothers.
Right, if there was that facility, would you go there, would you still want to do it kind of in the restaurant or wherever?
Well, when she says mother rooms, does she mean mother toilets? Because that's a different place.
They are rooms that are set aside for breastfeeding.
Let's go on to the lady
mothers.
three along from you, and the gentleman next to her as well in a second. Yeah, what do you feel?
Well, I've had 2 children. I've never felt the necessity to feed in public. I wouldn't particularly want to. I mean, when you...
Hang on.
Yeah, but I've worked, I've done a job, and I've taken my babies around. But I've never felt any need to breastfeed in public.
Can I ask
would
how
go
old your children are?
20.
Well, there's a lot of
What
difference now.
But hang on, this is she making
I'm
a
sorry,
hang on a
but
sec.
that's personally.
Is she making
I mean,
a fair point? Why
to
would
be honest
you
with
need
you,
to
it
do
would
that?
not offend me, but it could offend some people.
Why would you
It
need-
wouldn't offend me to see a man peeing in the street.
Why not?
You know,
Why
it
would,
does some
can I ask you,
people.
why would you need to feed your baby in public?
Well, why not? I mean,
No, but why would you need to?
But okay, Dave. Demand feeding. Just all the hospitals and the psychiatrists or whatever tell us that your child should be fed on demand.
You could bottle some milk, though.
Oh, come on, you don't. If you want a cup of coffee, Dave, you don't take a thermos with you everywhere, do you?
Well, hold on. Hang on, sorry, I'm going to stay over here for a second, because it's yeah.
Actually drawing it off in
Yes,
advance.
it's called express, and it's very painful sometimes too.
Right, let's stay over this side, and we'll come over there in a second. Lady on the end, yeah.
Any child can go into a newsagent and buy a tabloid newspaper with page 3 or page whatever and look at breasts.
Right.
Breastfeeding is perfectly natural. So, I mean, if a child can go and buy a magazine with breasts shown in it, then why on earth can't a woman breastfeed in public, which is a perfectly natural thing to do?
But Dave, there's a choice. You go and buy a paper. If someone sits next to you, you've got no choice. If you want a bus or something, you choose to buy a paper.
Nudity everywhere.
Gentleman behind, sir.
Yeah, I mean, the choice is yours, isn't it? If you don't like what's going on, then you can either move away or ignore it, you know, or don't look. You know, I mean,
All right.
where's the problem?
Let's go over here. Let's get someone who hasn't spoken yet. So, gentleman here, sir.
Yeah, Dave, I think you're losing track. We've got to think now of the welfare of the babies as well. And probably the babies think very much like you do when you go into a pub. Why have bottoms when there's draft available?
One final quick comment. Let's have a lady on the end here. You haven't spoken yet.
Isn't it coming down to a case of discrimination? We're supposed to be very liberated and we're supposed to be going back to basics and everything, but if we actually put up labels saying you cannot breastfeed here, you have to go into this little cubby hole, we're discriminating against people.
All right, fine. There we're going to have to leave it because we are almost at time. But well done, you did that very well. It's our first one. Give it a round of applause. Right, well, our guest in the hot seat is Max Clifford, the publicist who's made household names of Antonio de Sancha, as well as Lady Buck and the Harkess trio, wife and daughters of Judge Harkess. Max has no vices himself. He doesn't drink, smoke or gamble, but he makes his living out of clients who do get up to mischief, allegedly. Well, he handles their publicity, sometimes making a great deal of money for them in the process. Max, welcome to Late and Live. Great to have you with us. Can I ask you first, you sound like the sort of guy who enjoys dropping a very large rock in the water and watching the kind of the circle of water go out and watching those ripples have an effect. Would that be fair?
Well, depending on the circumstances, yes.
Right.
I mean, I've been a publicist PR for 30 years. Most of that time with the stars I look after, it's protection, keeping things out of the media. But part of it's the kind of
it's
thing
often said that you're kind of a very moral person, you know.
Well, my wife doesn't say that.
Well, others have said that. But it could be argued that some of the stories are pretty sleazy. They're, you know, perhaps sometimes a bit nasty. What do you feel about that?
I think if you're in a position of power, then you should be showing up for what you're all about.
Right.
There's plenty of people that are trying to create false images for you if you're a politician or a member of the aristocracy. So I think that if you're in that position, then we should see people for what they really are.
What about the royal family and indeed the Tory party? They've both had a very bad year this year. Do you think they've been advised badly?
Yes.
You do? That's a good answer. Okay.
That's good.
Let's get some questions. Max obviously represents all sorts of people. What do you feel about what he does? Lady at the very back first. Yeah.
Well, I'd like to ask him, you're obviously married. Now, how would you feel if somebody uncovered a terrible story about your wife, for example, that she'd run off with another woman, and this could ultimately affect the whole stability of your family and your career? How would you feel about that?
How would it affect the stability of my career?
Well, you obviously draw
If
attention
my wife
to
wanted
you.
to run off with another woman, well,
it would
good
deal
luck to
you
her.
the same way that you've dealt with many other people's careers and destroyed
Sorry?
theirs. It would end up that you would be dealt with in the same way that you deal with a lot of other people in your job.
That's
Now,
fine.
how would you feel if you're the
I'd
victim
accept
rather
it.
than the perpetrator?
I'd accept it. I don't have one rule for me and another rule for another.
All right, let's go. Let's do it back. John, at the back there. Yes, sir.
Quite honestly, I think what you're doing is outrageous and very wrong.
What do I do?
I think you are interfering with people's lives. I think you trawl in the dirty linen of families. You see,
Shut up. You see an opportunity. You have the opportunity that we don't have to go into print, and brother, you're not doing it for nothing. You're making
Quite right.
mighty bucks.
Quite
I
right,
think
yeah.
you're an evil man.
Well, what do I actually do then? Wait a minute, whoa.
That makes sense.
He's doing an
If
Edwina
you don't
Curry.
know what you do,
you
then
tell
hard
me.
cheese.
You tell me. You've made a criticism. Now,
Yes,
what
sir.
do I do?
What does he do?
You find out nasty
Hold
things
on.
about people.
No, I don't.
You
no.
don't?
No. I don't
Oh,
find
now,
out.
really?
People,
I'm getting
people
old.
come to me and expose paedophiles. They expose government ministers doing things that they shouldn't.
For money.
They expose people, doing things.
You mean would you seriously tell me, and I know a bit about you, that you're a do-gooder? Oh, come on.
No, but I happen to think. I happen to think that by showing people up like David Mellor for what they really are,
Why
he's doing
should you?
a lot of good. He's doing a lot of
Why
good.
should you go for David Mellor? He's a damn sight better man than you'll ever be.
Right,
Well, I wouldn't agree with that.
Hang on a second. Let's just talk about David Mellor for a second. I mean, the David Mellor story, many people would say, hang on a sec, please, hold on. The David Mellor story was kind of a kiss and tell story.
Yeah.
Okay, some people would say that kiss and tell is a pretty despicable thing to do. If you're going to have an affair with someone, that's one thing, but to make money out of it, isn't that wrong?
Is it wrong? Well, I suppose.
Hang on a sec, please.
That
Can we let Max
on,
answer?
That depends on every situation. I didn't break the David Mellor story. Nothing
Right.
to do with me, you silly old fool.
What about, hang on a sec, let's talk about the David Mellor. Right, hang on a sec. One at a time, please. One at a time. Let's talk about the David Mellor and Antonio de Sanchez story. Will you please be quiet for a second?
you just made a
Antonio de
complete
Sanchez,
prat of
David Mellor,
yourself
that whole
'cause you got it
story. What do we
completely
feel
wrong.
about that? What do you feel about what happened there? Here was a lady who had an affair with the government minister, and then she kissed and she told. Is that fair? Is that right? Should she have done that?
I think we're attacking the wrong one now.
She's around the back there.
Where is she now?
Gentleman at the back.
I'd just like to say, he says that they come to him.
Yeah.
Now, all I say is a lot of these young girls can see somebody that is willing to take a bite of the apple. They take a bite, and then a few months later, they're after getting some money for it. They go to him, he makes some money out of himself, and I'd do the same if I could do it in his place. It's the girls and the fellows such as Gummer and all these others. They up in the Houses of Parliament, they're preaching one thing and doing something else behind the back.
Max, you feel you're protecting,
You carry on and make
protecting
some
some
money, give me
people,
some.
but not people you don't want to protect, or people that you feel should be exposed for what they're doing. Why did you? Can I ask you with the David Mellor thing? Why did you feel that David Mellor should have been exposed in the way that he was? And you must have had a hand in that, obviously.
I had nothing to do with exposing David Mellor for his sexual antics.
Right.
I did have in exposing David Mellor for taking backhanders or doing deals with the PLO, freebie holidays and things like that. And if that's wrong, well, I'm quite happy to be wrong.
What about the whole story about the football strip and all that came out? Did you invent that story?
No, he made that up.
I don't think he did. All right, gentleman here, sir.
I can't see how you actually protect them, because once you sell these stories and they become public, they're just open for abuse. And where the protection comes into it, I can't see it, because
well,
they're getting money and they should be.
What I
mean,
actually
fair enough, they
said
should be
was
abused like
that, I mean, 90% of my business is looking after stars, and most of that is protection. Stopping stories getting out which are going to damage them and their image. And that's what I've done for 30 years.
You can stop the stories.
Hang on a sec. Well, let's talk about David
What
Copperfield.
about David
Did you turn down
Copperfield?
David Copperfield?
You wouldn't represent him. I read in the paper you
Well, isn't that Max's choice if he doesn't want to represent
I
him?
walked away from David
You
Copperfield
said he was
because...
surrounded by sycophants.
That's right,
That's
yeah.
absolutely right. So you'd sooner not work with a person like Copperfield. And by the way, after he got over the initial shock of you turning him down, he sold out Earl's Court for 4 nights. So he didn't do so bad without. He lost.
No,
his
he
work.
actually lost a lot of
he
money.
did.
You're wrong.
And I tell you,
he
something
lost
else.
a
You'd
lot of
sooner
money.
work with the likes of Antonia de Sanchez, that wonderful Oscar-winning actress, and also those 3 bloodsuckers that you flew in from South Africa. To sell their
I didn't fly them in.
grubby little story
What about
to the news of the world.
What
and all
about
this rubbish. They're the
Sinatra?
sort of
I've
people
worked
you'd
with for
sooner
20
work with.
years. What
Max
about
answer.
Marlon Brando? I've worked for 20 years. What about the Beatles I helped to launch? What about Muhammad Ali I've worked with for 15 years? What about them? What's your opinion of them? What's your opinion of them?
Down the pan now, then, because all you can do is bloodsuckers from South Africa.
All right, let's
Hey?
hang on, let's
Rubbish.
stop a second.
Cheap and nasty, that's what you are, mate.
Hold on. We mentioned Antonio de Sanchez, and actually Antonio de Sanchez is with us tonight. Let's welcome her in, Antonio de Sanchez. Please join us. Antonio, how do you feel about the whole kiss and tell thing? Do you think that you did the right thing?
I don't feel remotely bad about it,
Okay,
because
for
I
what
just
reason?
want to tell you one thing. First of all, I was involved with David Mellor for 3 months, God forbid, anywhere I was.
Actually, that is a big important question. Why?
Why? Because... Well, will you be quiet and let me
Please
talk?
will you let Antonio answer, please? Please let her
Thank
answer.
you.
Okay.
Because
I'm sure
I was
lots of women
introduced
would
to
like
him
to
through
know.
a mutual friend of ours, whatever, and I liked him very much. He was a very funny, amusing, intelligent man. I got on extremely well with him. You're laughing, but what the hell do you think you look like? You've got a pair of glasses on. You're not exactly an attractive man. You might be extremely witty, extremely intelligent. Yeah, but everybody's saying, you know, don't judge a book by its cover. You cannot judge a book by its cover. I'm sorry. You'll find that most unattractive men are extremely attractive because they have a lot more. The same applies to women. The same applies. You cannot constantly go by looks. If I were to go choose good-looking men, I would be bored out of my brains because I have met in the...
No!
Rubbish!
Okay.
No.
Hold on. At what point...
The ones that I've met...
Hang on. Antonio, it's no good all talking at once because we really can't hear you, OK? So let's just calm it down for a second. Antonio, at what point did you decide that you no longer liked David Mellor and that things kind of went wrong? Will you just be quiet for a second, please? He did say when Max came along with a checkbook, so
When he
just in case
told
anyone
me
did hear
to
it.
shut up, when the whole thing blew up,
Right.
and he told me to keep my mouth shut because it was ruining his reputation, all these salacious stories had came out in the newspapers, and I wanted to talk to him. He was calling me up, and I was talking to him, and he said, Antonio, I don't want you to say anything. I don't want you to issue a statement. I don't want you to say anything because it's going to ruin my reputation. It's going to ruin my position in government, and quite frankly, I want you to keep your mouth shut, be quiet, stay in a corner, and disappear into non-existence.
So you decided to say... So, hold on. So at that point, did you decide to take kind of revenge on him then?
Yeah, that was my form of revenge.
Okay, well, let me put this to 100. What's wrong with that if you get treated like that? What's wrong with that? Lady here, yeah.
Because you knew what you were getting into. You knew it would be like that at the beginning.
That's right.
So you can't just turn tail at the end and say, well, I'll make as fast a buck as I can.
Wouldn't you do that? If you fell in love with someone, had an affair with someone, and then they told you to sit in the corner and be quiet and not say a word to anyone, wouldn't you be angry?
I think it's fairly tragic to fall
Wouldn't
in
you
love with
be
a public
angry?
figure like David Mellor.
Yes, but wouldn't you be angry?
I know. At least if you loved the man, then you must have appreciated that you can't possibly.
Yes, but what would you do in a situation like that?
Turn and walk away.
Really? With all that stuff that came out in the newspapers about me that was complete and utter nonsense, that was fabricated by checkbook-hungry people who most of them I didn't even know.
And Sonia...
You didn't know that would happen?
No, I didn't.
And Sonia, did you... what did Max do for you then at that point when all that was happening and you obviously you got involved with Max? What did he do for you? How did he help the situation?
He helped me turn the situation around to the best of my advantage at the time. He made me money. I made money out of the situation.
So, hang on a minute. I detect a little bit of hypocrisy from the HTV 100 here again. I bet you're all pretty happy when David Mellor got and it was in the... Come on. Come on. Gentlemen over here.
He deserved it. If you're famous and you enjoy fame and you make money from fame, as a politician or a famous actor or something, then you don't put a foot wrong. If you do, you deserve to get caught. Well done, Antonio. Well done.
Some support for Antonio. Gentlemen here, sir. In the middle. Yeah.
What is your view of David Mellor's concern with wider issues such as drug smuggling from Latin America and a need for fair settlement in the Middle East to help the Palestinians?
To be honest with you, I haven't
regain
actually
their
been listening
rights
to any of his opinions recently because I'm not remotely interested in his opinions at the moment. So I haven't. But if you were to tell me a little bit more about what he's been saying about this drug smuggling issue,
I don't
then
think
might
we want
be
to go
able
into that because I think that's pretty tedious. But over here, we have a gentleman here on the end here. Sir, what do you think?
If you hitch up with someone like David Mellor and then you break your arrangement with him, at the end of the day, you know you're the person who's now going to be famous. And that's what you're doing it for.
What's the wrong with that? I'm sorry, I just think it's just so hypocritical. If you had an affair with someone famous, right, and you really fell out with them, and you argued with him, and you didn't like them anymore, and someone came up with a checkbook and said, "Give us your story. Here's 100 grand." You telling me you wouldn't take it?
I'd have to think about it now.
Get real.
Oh, I'd just like to say that if I was in Antonio's position, I would do exactly the same thing.
Thank you.
Sex sells.
It's just
This is not
this is not about fame and so forth, it's about bitterness at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And I feel to myself that
Yeah.
what she did is quite worthwhile. To me, if I was in her position, I'd do the same thing. I think he was a disgusting man, and too many men think they can go around, screw who they want to screw, and they can do whatever they want to do. I think it's about time that women made a stance.
Thank you.
Okay?
Thank you.
Hang on.
I really think
All right, hold on, hold on.
Can
Gentlemen
I
on the front
just say
row.
something?
Yeah, let Antonio answer. Hang
Can
on,
I
I'll
just
come to
say?
you. I'll let you answer in a second. Let Antonio just answer that first, then I'll come to you.
Can I just say, I regret that this whole thing ever happened. Yes, I do. I regret this whole thing ever happened. But when this whole thing came about, I wanted to sue. I would like to have sued. I had absolutely no money. I could not afford to sue. So, no, I couldn't. I could not afford to sue the newspapers for libel. So,
I cannot understand. I don't know you. I don't know who you are, where you come from, what you are. What you
Gentlemen
said,
here.
I'm sorry, I think that's wrong. David Miller was married. Why did you get involved
no,
in it?
because he was on the verge of separation. He was separating from his wife.
Hold on, not all at once.
He was separating from his wife.
Whoa! We cannot hear everybody who talks at once. Just hold it a second, please. Thank you. Now.
He was separating from his wife. He had not made it public yet. He was separating from his wife. He was still living with her. Why did I? I'd love to.
All right, listen, I'm going to stop you all for a second. Hold on, whoa. Stop. Because we're going to find out what everybody's thinking at home. Katrina's got some cards.
Yes, I have. There's a lot of people who've been phoning in, commenting on this. Some of it very, very strong, I have to say. First of all, Roger Ansell from Warminster says, how many people go out and buy the gutter press? There is a demand for this sort of thing. Mr. Sleeman from near Salisbury, he says, good luck to you, you're making a living. This is to Max, as you know how. Then he says, if it wasn't for sleazy tarts like Antonia de Sancha and clowns like David Mellor, you wouldn't have a job. Well, that's Mr. Sleeman near Salisbury. Derek Cooper from Gwent, he says, Max Clifford is a sycophant and a scandalmonger. Dudley from Minehead, stop flapping your hat round my bottom. That'll get in the papers too. Dudley from Minehead, he says, Max Clifford is a very nice guy. Unfortunately, people do not see the nice side of him. And finally, well, that's a mixed bag, I think. A variation of opinions. Finally, we have a question. Antonia, the question's for you. This is from Mandy Davis in Bristol. And she wants to know, would you have bothered with David Mellor if he was not well known or didn't have money?
Okay. Antonia?
Probably not, no, at the time.
Okay. Right. Max, how do you feel about what happened with this holiday? Do you think that you did handle it as you wanted to and the outcome was what you wanted with that whole affair?
Yeah, it's called making the best of a bad situation.
Right. Do you feel that it is kind of part of your job to expose people who are doing things that are wrong? I mean, people have picked out on this particular story and a couple of the others, but that is a small percentage of your work, to be fair. But it is the percentage that people hear about. I mean, what other sort of things do you do that people maybe haven't heard about?
Yeah, but that's boring. They only want controversial
Right.
things. They're not interested in reality. That doesn't. Okay. You really want to know?
Max does a lot of charity work, to be fair, but go on.
Well, Royal Marsden Children's Cancer Unit I've represented for 20 years. I don't charge them any money. I raise funds for them. I raise awareness for them. I try and keep those hospitals open. And I take major stars there to visit the kids that are dying. I've done it for 20-odd years. Arthritis care, I've got a daughter who's had 15 major operations in the last 12 years through rheumatoid arthritis. So I try to put a little bit back. By raising money, by raising awareness, by the same kind of thing. That's something that I'm lucky I'm in a position that I can do. Now that, coupled with the stars I represent, the names that I've mentioned and lots of others besides, that's 90% of my time. 10% is representing people that come to me, like Antonia, who I believe and like her personally, and I liked her position, as opposed to the position of David Mellor.
It's
like being a pantomime, isn't it?
The other question here is as well, do you feel that sometimes when people like Antonia are put in a position like this, and it's, the media... sorry. Do you think that when people like Antonia are in this kind of position and they're faced with all this media interest and they don't really quite know how to deal with it, because it must be a pretty powerful thing, that they need someone like you to come and kind of rescue them almost?
If you're actually interested in the truth, which maybe some of you are, when Antonia came to me, she'd been attacked by the media for kissing and telling. She didn't kiss and tell. Someone had sold the story that bugged their own telephone, nothing remotely to do with her. Her friends then came out of the woodwork and kissed and told and sold stories on her. So she was being attacked by the media, she was being attacked by the public, and all she'd done, if you like, was to have the misfortune of getting involved with David Mellor. The one person she went to for advice and help was David Mellor. He ran away and tried to create and look after his own career. She came to me and she said, help. So what we did was to make the best of a bad situation. Maybe one day some of you will find out what it's like to be in that situation, and then you know a little bit about it.
Do you think you're in a position of power, Max, in what you do? Do you think you have power? Because people do believe that you know, the tabloid press. Do you have power?
Well, I work as much with the broadsheets as I do with the tabloid press. I work as much with television as I do with newspapers. So, you know, don't confine it to the tabloid press. Most of my time is spent working with international
whichever. I mean, they're all influential in different ways.
OK. What I do have is the ability, if you like, to bring things to the attention of the world public, which means I'm fortunate. So that's what I do have.
All right, let's have a couple of quick questions because we're almost out of time. Gentleman on the end there. Hold on a sec, sir.
It's quite well known, and I respect you for what you do as a highly skilled person. But you suggested that you know, you tell the truth. You're guessing the story that Antonia had across to the world. Is that actually true in terms of the fact that you would protect one of your clients by fabrication? As a professional public relations consultant, I sit a million miles from where you work, and if you say at the beginning, as you did, that you're a PR consultant or you work in PR, would you like to retract that?
Well,
Because
first of all, I was actually described as a publicist.
You said in your own words that you're a publicist and a PR. You have been in PR.
All right, let's hear Max, because we're almost out of time on this. Max, I don't think you would class yourself. Would you class yourself as a PR man or as a publicist? I mean,
both. I mean, it depends on what you're doing at what particular time. Most of my work.
Professionals go by the truth.
Sure. Most of. No, hold on. I've said many, many times that in my job I tell lies all the time. If someone comes to me and says, you represent this particular star, are they gay? I know that they are, but to tell the truth would ruin their lives and ruin their careers. I say, no, they're not. So I happily admit I do that, and I've done that, and I've admitted it on many occasions.
All right, we're going to have to stop you there because we're out of time, but I would like you to put your hands together and thank both Max Clifford and Antonia.
A good, hot and heated discussion there, just what we like to see, and there's more to come. What do you think of nightclub hypnotism? Harmless entertainment or something dangerous which people are mad to even try? We've certainly been hearing quite a lot about it recently. Join us after the break and meet hypnotist Alex Zander. Make sure you're one of the people who stays awake.
Mars has got it all. Milk, glucose, malt, and thick, thick chocolate. Have you got the taste for it?
Unlike most cuppa soups, Bachelor's new granules give you a lot less stirring and a lot more flavour.
I can't go on. Wait, don't give up now. I was just getting started.
Energizer. Longer lasting batteries.
No, no, no. You don't love me, and I know now. No, no, no. You don't love me as I know now.
You had goulash on Wednesday, and you still ain't tried new surf.
How can you tell?
Obvious.
More people are making the change. Isn't it time you moved over to Canderel?
Sky Tours holidays come with an unbeatable price promise that'll really knock your socks off.
Chicken tonight, honey and mustard.
I feel like chicken tonight.
Made with clover honey and tangy mustard.
Chicken tonight.
Hi, and welcome to the beach where McCain oven chips work out to become healthier chips. And hey, these guys are serious. Not only are they prepared in sunflower oil, but each hunky specimen contains less than half the fat of a fried chip. Just 5%. Wow, read it and weep, fat boys. And McCain chips are cut from real potato, so they're totally dreamy in the taste department, too.
Most excellent.
McCain Beefeater, Crinkle, and Straight Cut oven chips. With only 5% fat, they're healthier chips.
It's on. The Bristol Bathroom Company's once-a-year sale is now on. Now on. Now on. Now on. Now on. £1,000 a day is being given away in the Bristol Evening Post Win Award competition. Yes, you can win £1,000 every day. Get the Bristol Evening Post now. Packed with news, packed with money. Win Award, only in the Bristol Evening Post, the paper that's just giving it away every day.
Welcome back to Late Live. Now, while the break was on there, I've actually hypnotised Katrina. I was taught this by a blind monk in Neasden, and all I have to do now is click my fingers once, and she will awake and obey my every command, basically. So here we go. And I'll try that one more time. She wasn't quite...
So sad.
But seriously now, some people do weird things when they've been hypnotised, don't they? Now, have a look at this. I'm afraid it was shot in rather a noisy place, but it'll give you an idea of what our next guest can get people to do when he hypnotises them.
Mosquitoes here, and they're buzzing around the back of your neck. They're going zip, zip, around the back of your neck. They're buzzing around the back of your neck and biting you, and they're itching, and you need to chase them away. When you chase them away, they leave you alone. When you chase them away, they leave you alone. But the funny thing is these are magic mosquitoes. And for the rest of tonight, while you're in this building, whenever I say the word, a certain word, whenever I say a certain word, the mosquitoes bite you on the back of the neck. Whenever I say umbrella, the mosquitoes bite you on the back of the neck and itch like mad until you chase them away. Whenever I say umbrella, you've got the mosquitoes again. Whenever I say umbrella tonight in this building, only when I say umbrella, you get the mosquitoes attacking you on the back of the neck. When you chase them away, they leave you. And I count through this person opens his eyes and sees that gorgeous woman again. She says, no, we must do it here. We must do it here. This is my favourite vibrating chair. We must do it here. 1, 2, 3.
Well, there are those that would say there's not much wrong with that. Good, harmless fun, isn't it? Well, meet Alexander, the hypnotist who seems to have the power to make people do anything he wants. Also with him on the couch is Dr. Sue Blackmore, who's a psychologist. Welcome to both of you. Alexander, were those people really under your power?
Well, I wouldn't say I have any power whatsoever.
Right.
I mean, the whole understanding that the public has of hypnotism is very much distorted by the self-serving, let's be frank, lies told about hypnotism by hypnotists, and in particular hypnotherapists. I mean, the whole debate about hypnotism is distorted by the general assumption that there is such a thing as a hypnotic trance, which represents some kind of very fundamental and radical alteration of a person's response to another person, the hypnotist. And in fact, scientifically, there is no such thing as a hypnotic trance. The idea of hypnosis is a fraud of a kind.
So what are you doing to these people that's making them do these
well,
things?
I'm providing a context, a situation for people to enact their own particular fantasy, if you like, of being hypnotised.
So are they playing at being hypnotised? Are they playing along here?
No, there is a difference between someone who's playing along and
Right.
someone who's genuinely hypnotised, and the difference is entirely subjective. It is that you believe that you are hypnotised.
But you're not.
There's no, when you say that somebody's hypnotised, there is a difference between somebody who's genuinely hypnotised and somebody who isn't.
Right.
But the difference is not that the person who's hypnotised is in some kind of trance.
Right,
you know,
let me
it's,
bring in Dr. Sue
something
Blackmore. So
else.
you've seen Alex's show and you've also got some views on this, you've looked at the subject. What do you think's going on?
Well, he's absolutely right that there's very little evidence that people are really in some kind of trance, and there have been all these scientific arguments. But in the end, what it comes down to for me is that when you hypnotise somebody, you are taking some kind of power over them. They are allowing you to take on that role. They're sort of saying, right, I'll let you tell me what to do and I'll do it. And then they get led along and led along and led along. And what worries me about is that you can lead people too far to the point where they really have no option to get out. And then you can abuse the power. And
So
I think that happens.
Are they in a state, or are they just kind of, is it pure
Yes.
pressure because the people on the stage and they're going to look stupid if they don't do it?
Well, it begins that way.
But then
the
it
odd
develops-
thing is, and I mean, you know, psychologists, yes, we ought to understand it, and we don't understand hypnosis, and I don't know what's happening. But if it goes on, then people get in a strange state, and they really stop taking responsibility for their own actions and just do what they're told.
Right, let's go to the guy who was actually in that video. Right, here you are, here. Do you want to say hello to the elephant, by the way? Isn't it?
No, it's not. I don't think it's the same one.
It's a different one.
actually.
It's a smaller
Yeah.
one. Okay. The point is, were you doing that willingly? Were you hypnotised, or were you just playing along? What was going on in your mind?
Oh,
when
well,
you
I
were
wasn't
doing
playing along. I just.
He's enjoying it.
No, I was told to do something, and as the lady said, you know, it goes on and on and on with different things.
And you just did it?
And I just did it. Later on, there was an act which went a bit too far. I was told I was a bitch on heat.
Right.
And in here was a dog.
Right.
And we were told to go for it. And
Right.
the television cameras weren't there at the time.
Right.
But there's no way I was going to go for that. I walked off, so I do feel there was some control.
Okay, how did you feel about that? Were you hypnotised as well, yeah, at this show? So, again, were you playing along, or were you really hypnotised?
Well, as he says, you don't. At first, you're not really sure what's going on. You're aware of what everyone else is doing, and as you go on and on, you just get more and more into it. And
do you regret doing it, both of you, or not?
No, I mean, I've seen a hypnotist do his work before, and is this really true? You know, does it really happen? And
but it was fun.
It was a lot.
Dangerous, do you think?
Well, I mean, there's all the
For you?
reports have come out. No, not for me.
Have you had any kind of effects after that? You don't go rushing after
thing
big teddy bears.
I mean,
Have you seen one?
No. The only thing afterwards. I did have a headache afterwards, and
I just think the elephant probably had a headache as well, actually.
and also, I couldn't sleep till about 5 o'clock in the morning.
Really?
Yeah.
So it kind of hyped you up a
yeah.
bit. Just quickly, to a couple of your friends, you were kind of involved. You weren't actually hypnotised, were you, I don't think, but you were watching. And were you involved in
It didn't work on me, no. He tried to hypnotise me, but he was trying to do about 5 people at the same time.
Right.
And it just didn't have the effect on me. But when in hindsight, I'm glad because, well, I'm not really attracted to the elephant. And I mean, it is sort of worrying. I mean, like the doctor says, I mean, it's still very unsure, and that possibly is why it didn't work on me, because I was a bit, did I want to be hypnotised? Right. I mean, when you see the power they can influence over you, I mean, there's no way either of these would contemplate
doing that normally.
Doing that with an elephant. I mean, well, I'm a bit worried about Rupert at times. I see him on a Friday night, but no, it does worry you, like the power they can have.
Okay, Alex, why can't you put some people under?
Well, as a matter of fact, most people can be hypnotised, about 90% of the population can be hypnotised to a degree, but that is a very trivial degree. The number of people who you can get to sufficiently hypnotised, as it were, to fulfil the needs of a performance is a very small proportion of the population. We're talking about maybe 10 or 15 or 20% of the population. So really it's putting your question a bit on its head. Why is it so few people that you can get to do those things? That's a more interesting question.
Right. Do you know when you've got them, or do you know when they are playing along? Can you tell?
If somebody it's very seldom that people actually do volunteer and then fake it.
Really?
Usually they're too over the top. And
But
I
you
can
don't
tell
believe
they're
there
too
is such a
rapid.
thing as a hypnotic state, basically?
There is no such thing as a trance.
A trance?
No.
Right, we come back to the, because we've got a
It's important
hypnotherapist
to
with
bear
us
in
as
mind,
well.
it's not what I believe. Right. It's what scientists have established over many
Sue,
decades.
you agree with that?
I agree with that. I just think that it's ridiculous to deny you have power, and when you have power, you can abuse it.
Well, I disagree. I don't think I have any power, actually. I'm just the master of ceremony.
Well, I don't know if people agree with that. They've seen the results of that. Let's get some comments from the 100. We'll go along this little row here. Lady on the end first, yeah.
when you put someone in a hypnotic state, it means that your brain is actually relaxed, and you're more susceptible to suggestions. You can't actually change someone's morals. So if you're
What does that
asking
say
them,
about these people?
if you're asking someone to do something which is against their moral grain, as it were,
Right.
they won't do it. I mean,
Okay.
you can't change someone's morals through hypnosis.
Gentleman next to you.
Can I ask the gentleman what qualification he's got to actually
Okay.
do that?
Alex, you're self-taught, aren't you?
Is communication. Do you need any qualification to ask me questions? It's normal social interaction. There is. I'm
No,
not
it's
doing
not safe.
anything. I'm not. It is absolutely the
bore you
same.
and put
There's
you to
no
sleep,
distinction. Can you tell me a distinction between what I'm doing on stage
Somebody's
and
saying
what you
it's
do
not.
when
All
you
right,
talk
let's
to
get a
people?
gentleman here.
Yeah, people are there, they trust you, they believe you,
Well,
you know what you're doing.
that applies to many situations. There's nothing different with the
Sorry, what were you going to say?
You can't hypnotise me, you know, and...
I bet he
do
loves
something
people like that who say that. You can't hypnotise me.
No, but I'd like to take that point up. It's true that a lot of people say that and then do make very good subjects.
Right.
But the point is, if you're determined not to be hypnotised and do that, you won't do it.
Yeah.
That's the
Fine.
fact.
I don't think you've got a
right.
Okay, well, you've got a right if you go up and you volunteer. Then I mean, you can't say you've got no right, can you? If you agree to do it, gentlemen here, yeah.
Yeah, some years ago in a club, and I, like you, I thought that I couldn't be hypnotised, and I thought that I was under a trance, and I stood up in front of 200 people, and I was conducting an orchestra, and I thought I was the world's best conductor, and I'm not a show-off, and I'm quite a quiet person, but I was quite happy to stand up there in front of all these people, and I was conducting violins, harps, everything.
And you weren't playing along. You were genuinely.
I wasn't playing
under
along
some
at all,
sort of
and I
influence.
felt
I was aware of myself. I was aware of the people
It's quite simple
there.
to explain this distinction between what people say when they say, "Oh, you can't hypnotise me," and then when you hypnotise them, they say, like you say, you're doing something daft and you really believed it. The distinction is between two levels of belief. Now, you could take somebody who says he doesn't believe in ghosts, maintain he does not believe in the supernatural, bung him in a haunted house, and he's absolutely crapping himself.
Right.
Because you've got a lower level of belief that is encultured. You're programmed with that level of belief, irrespective of what you think consciously.
Okay, Alex, let me stop you saying, because I want to get some more things. Gentleman behind, sir, on the end there, yeah. What do you think?
I've seen people who have been in a trance, but not in the sense of an entertainment. I mean, in travelling abroad, I've seen people in religious ceremonies in trances and this sort of thing. What worries me, really, is within our culture, we see that what in many cultures, and indeed in our own a long time ago, was a religious or quite an important act for an individual, is now turned into some kind of vicarious entertainment. In that respect, I think it's wrong.
The important word you're using is culture, and what you're talking about, religious trances, are no more real than the things that happen on stage. They're an aspect of culture.
Yes, no, I agree
They are
with
an
that, but the
aspect of
point is
culture.
that what you're doing is you're making an entertainment out of it.
Right.
But
Whereas,
isn't
whereas
there,
for most
except
people, it's an
it's
important
only
part
there-
of their
it only
religious
exists in
behaviour.
our
Hold on,
culture
Alex, hang on a
because
second. I want to
it
bring
is
Sue
an
in.
entertainment.
Sue,
It has no other
what about
existence.
people like hypnotherapists who use it? And we've got a hypnotherapist in the list, so we'll go to in a second. What about that?
Well,
Is
it's
that
rather a
chance?
different issue because their aim is different. They're trying to help people to lose weight or give up smoking and so on, and using the same,
Well, I don't think
same
so.
kind
Their
of
aim is to
principle.
Hang on a
make
sec,
money
Alex.
out
Please
of
let Sue
people.
finish.
That is their
We've
aim.
got a complete spectrum here, and I like the comment from the man up there. It's something you can use for religious purposes, it's something you can use to have, you know, mystical experiences, it's something you can use to change bad habits, or
Right.
it's something you can abuse and make people do, you know, yucky things and,
Okay,
and
let's
exhaust
go. Hang on a
themselves
sec,
and
hold on a
hurt
sec, Alex,
themselves.
hang on. I want to go. We've got a hypnotherapist here. Is it on the end here? Hi, it's Amanda, isn't it? Would you disagree that there is no such thing as hypnotic trance?
I would agree that there is a phenomenon that occurs, whether you call it hypnosis, whether you call it a trance, whether you call it relaxation. And I think one question that I would give to these two gentlemen here, you actually made the point that you walked off the stage when you were made to do something that clearly you felt uncomfortable with. And I would actually ask you, did you feel vulnerable? Did you feel very uncomfortable? Did you feel vulnerable?
I did feel. I was looking forward to being out of the trance. It went on for 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
You were looking forward to getting it over with.
Yeah,
Okay.
I was bored.
Well,
I mean,
you see, we keep coming back to this business.
Hang on a sec,
of
Alex, hold on a
trance,
sec, sorry.
But there is no
Alex,
such
hold on,
thing.
hold on.
After
And it's got nothing to
Hold
do
on,
with
Alex.
relaxation
Hang on a sec,
either.
Alex.
That's complete baloney.
Alex, hold on.
That's in your
No,
opinion.
no, it's
And I
not in
would
my
just
opinion.
like
It's
to-
been
I would like to
demonstrated
pass
in
the question
laboratories.
back to
Have you
you.
heard of
Alex,
Ernest
can you
Gilbert?
Alex,
Will
can
you
you just hold on just a
wait?
second, please? Let me finish.
I would just like to pass the question back to you, because I believe, from my experience, from my line of work, and yes, it's how I make a living. Isn't what you do how you make a living?
Okay, can I?
But I would just like to say that when people are vulnerable, and I believe that they are on a different level of consciousness. Sometimes they can get very emotionally moved. Sometimes they can get very uptight. Sometimes they can go back to previous experiences, earlier childhood experiences, and be very disturbed. How would you deal with that?
Okay,
People come to you when I've got to answer that. I've got to answer that. People come to you when they're vulnerable. They're not vulnerable when they come to me. Let me answer that. They're not vulnerable when they come to me. They're vulnerable when they go to you.
Paul, you've been studying this with Sue. You're one of Sue's students, yeah?
And actually, I'd follow on from this exactly.
Okay.
And so a gentleman over here posed the question, what qualifications do you have to do this? The response was that hypnosis is just communication. Yeah. Of course it's just communication, but the communication is just the process, it's the mechanics of the hypnosis. We're concerned here with the outcome of hypnosis.
Yes.
But what is the outcome? It's just baloney. It's just fantasy.
The outcome I saw...
Fantasy.
The outcome I saw was a lot of people who were quite...
We're on the verge of the 21st century. It's time for people to wake up and stop believing in mumbo-jumbo such as hypnotic trances.
Hang on.
Let me explain that. Let me explain that. The number of people who can have an operation done with hypnotic anaesthesia is a very small proportion of people. That's understood. Those people can have operations without anaesthesia.
All right, let's get a couple of quick final comments because we're running out of time fast. Lady here,
What you're saying is you make a lot of money, right, out of nothing.
Entertaining people.
No, out of nothing. You make money out of nothing.
Let me say, I present an illusion.
They pay to come and see you. Okay,
they
and what
don't.
Do you do
the shows are for free.
The shows are free, right?
Yeah.
So your act is for nothing.
No, I get paid a fee for entertaining people. They wouldn't have me back if they didn't get entertainment.
That's fine, it's being entertained, but he's saying he's being entertained by nothing.
Paul Daniels, no, I'm not saying that at all. I'm not saying that at all. Paul Daniels, let me answer that. Paul Daniels doesn't expect you to believe that he can saw his wife in half, does he?
No.
You don't expect to believe that David Copperfield can fly, but why do you expect to believe that I've got any power over people? It's just an illusion. I don't play with people's minds. Wake up!
Stop,
it's 1995.
Hold on, stop, because we are just about out of time. And I want one very quick final word from you, sir. Very quick.
I think it's very important that everybody has choice throughout. You ask people to you ask people to volunteer.
They do.
Well, that's it. I'm going to stop. That's it. We've got no more time left. We'll be back next week. We'll see you then. Quick, take off.
The National Trust, that most British of institutions. Formed to protect the countryside and historic places of England and Wales, it's now very successful. But in this, its centenary year, there are difficult questions to answer about its future. Held in Trust, Sundays at 2 on HTV.
People say, what do you give them to get that really shiny coat? Simple. I say it's a high-quality meat protein and Pedigree Chum Select Cuts. After all, a dog's coat is 95% protein, and a good coat is a real sign of inner health. Pedigree's got the right balance of vitamins and minerals, and I put my trust in that. It looks really succulent and meaty, and every day it's like a Sunday roast to them. If you want the best...
I'll see you at 10:40. Good evening.
The HTV 7-day weather line, 0336 41 40 40.
News for the West from the studios of HTV.
Good evening. 2 Wiltshire firemen are lucky to be alive tonight after a blazing roof collapsed on them. They needed hospital treatment but escaped serious injury during the incident, which has left a rural vicarage in ruins. Experts say it was set alight by arsonists.
Also tonight, prescription for trouble in the Forest of Dean. Doctors claim their surgeries face closure as a chemist moves in. Howling success, how they're taking the pain out of injections in Somerset. And Big Frank's back. Bruno gets set for another date in the West.
You've got to spread your wings around. I've done pantomime down there, now I'm going to fight down there, yes.
Fire crews from all over Wiltshire have spent the day damping down after arsonists attacked the former vicarage at West Overton near Marlborough. At the height of the blaze, 2 firefighters had an incredible escape from death when part of the burning roof collapsed on them. They were dragged clear by colleagues and taken to hospital for a check-up.
Firemen were called to the vicarage at West Overton shortly after 4 o'clock this morning by a farmer several miles away who saw the flames. But it's thought the blaze had been raging since midnight. The 2-storey house was destroyed, and at the height of the blaze, 2 firemen were injured when part of the roof caved in on them.
Well, because of the intensity of the fire and the very strong winds that we were experiencing throughout the night, I had to commit firefighters from the outside. Normally, we would fight the fire from inside. However, it was whilst the 2 of these firefighters were working on ladders that a part of the roof structure collapsed. And unfortunately for them, they were in the way and part of the debris fell on them. I can say that following a journey to hospital and treatment, that we were happy to say that it was only superficial and they got away with neck strain and some superficial bruises.
More than 12 hours later, fire crews were still at the 2-storey isolated house set in its own grounds. Detectives were also called in and forensic experts have been sifting through the debris. They say it's almost certain the fire was the work of an arsonist. The house, which was built about 40 years ago, has stood empty since last October, and church officials were planning to sell it. More than 50 firemen have been here during the day. They've been hampered by high winds and atrocious rain. They're now making a final check of the debris to make sure there are no last pockets of fire. It's thought that damage to the old vicarage will cost somewhere in the region of £200,000 to repair. Maurice Fells, HTV News, West Overton.
Other news now, and health patients in part of the Forest of Dean have been warned they could face a long trek to see a doctor in future. 2 GPs claim they'll be forced to close their surgeries because of a drop in income. At the moment, they're paid extra to dispense medicines, but they say that'll all go when a chemist opens a rival service.
Well, I've got more trouble with pain in my elbow. I suppose it's tennis elbow.
The doctor's surgeries at Sedbury and Tuts Hill near Chepstow do more than just issue prescriptions. They dispense them too. They're a medical one-stop shop where patients needing to obtain medicines have only to walk across the corridor to collect them. The surgeries, both offshoots of bigger practices in Chepstow, rely on profits from the in-house pharmacies. But doctors say a plan to hand over most of this side of the business to a new shop nearby means the surgeries could close.
The top and bottom of it is that the branch surgeries will become economically unviable. At the present time, we run 10 sessions a week here. That will inevitably have to reduce and probably to 0, because to run 2 operations is very difficult and economically makes no sense.
Coleford pharmacist Robert Davis, who didn't want to comment today, has been granted permission to open a new shop like this in Sedbury. As well as selling over-the-counter medicines, most of the doctor's dispensing work would switch to him. If that meant the closure of the village surgeries, patients would have to travel more than a mile into Chepstow to see a doctor, something that worries the elderly and those with families.
Be very inconvenient because I rely on the doctors being close by, being as I'm very often not very well. And I just rely on them to be here when I'm not well, which is quite often.
We've been using this surgery for 14 years now, and it would seem stupid to have to
It's everything. Black Radiance I mentioned earlier. Now, that again is quite hard to get out, to actually get hold of, but there's a company called Aura who are organising party plans and mail order for Black Radiance, I think, in Barry M.
Yeah.
So they're trying to sort of send it out further afield and actually sort of send it into the homes of black women so they can actually find it's a lot easier to actually purchase makeup.
Well, that's all we've got time for today, I'm afraid, but I hope you found it interesting, and we'll see you very soon. Bye-bye.
Next on UK Living, we travel to Genoa City for the loves, lusts and lives of the young and the restless.
You want to know something about me? All you got to do is ask me. Anybody got a question for my ex-husband? I'll talk about anything.
I mean, we hate each other.
Good, let's just belt it out on national telly, shall we?
Just ask. The Susan Powter Show, weekdays at 6 on UK Living.
Having a party, wedding, or just celebrating a special event? Then why not book the latest CD Roadshow? Boogie and twist to all the great sounds of the 60s, or rock the house to the hits of the 90s. Whatever your taste in music, Deja Vu Mobile Disco will offer you a competitive price and will make your party go with a real swing. To book the all-new CD Mobile Disco, call John on 0589 216 881.
There are fantastic deals on absolutely every summer holiday at Baker's Dolphin. There are huge savings on Cosmos summer holidays. Huge savings on faraway holidays with Hayes and Jarvis. And huge savings on British holidays with Haven. So come in and see us for a huge saving on your summer holiday.
Baker's Dolphin, your best friend in travel.
What is her middle name? Yeah, it's a killer, that, isn't it? What are your views on sex?
It's a bit late to ask, isn't it?
Does he ever ask you to cut his toenails?
Yeah.
Yeah?
And pick his spots.
The new Mr. and Mrs. Show tonight at 11 on UK Living.
Sexy, loving, wild, romantic, bad boys, good lovers, loyal or handsome.
Most people in their heart of hearts wants to meet that special person.
The only sort of holiday romance I get is being searched at customs.
Didn't you say that women were past it at 30, you?
No, I wrote that purely to make money.
What on earth are you doing? I said, I'm sorry, but they've just got to go. And I started snipping a couple of hairs in a nostril like that.
You did not!
They're talking about their love life. Sunday at 11 on UK Living.
Now, the young and the restless, where the shoulder pads are as big as the egos.
Hello, Brad.
What are you doing here?
I've been wanting to talk to you. I didn't feel like I had a chance to explain the other night.
Nothing to explain. You married Victor. Life goes on.
You're very bitter, aren't you?
I have one question, and I'd like a straight answer. It's important to me.
I'll tell you anything I can.
Those days you backed off after Tracy came home. Not wanting to rush into announcing an engagement, not wanting to set a wedding date. Was that all because of Tracy, or was there more to it?
I can't lie to you, Brad. It wasn't just Tracy.
So even back then, you were trying to see what you could put together with Victor.
No, it wasn't like that at all. Brad, honest to God, I didn't know it was going to happen until an hour before it did happen. Please believe me, because that's the truth. I was so confused. I packed my overnight bag, and I went to my cabin in the woods, the one that Victor gave me many years ago. Brad, I had no idea that he was going to be there. Please believe me, it was a complete coincidence.
A coincidence?
Yes, it was nothing that was planned.
Six years. Danny, did you hear John? 6 years. That is the mandatory minimum sentence if you insist on taking your case back into court and going to trial.
That's if I'm convicted.
Have you heard anything we've told you?
Yes, I've heard. I've heard every damn word you've said.
Danny, look, I know this is really frustrating for you.
No, I don't think you know, John. I don't think you have any idea. You know, when you spend most of your life doing something you feel is right for the fight against drugs, and then some scum that's got some vendetta against you plants drugs in your dressing room, and then the media wants to crucify me.
Danny, it's not all the media.
And then my counselor here tells me that there's nothing I can do. Well, that's great. So I'm supposed to live with half the world thinking I'm guilty because I got off on some technicality. Is that right?
There are worse things. Your case was thrown out of court. You're a free man.
Yeah, well, I want to be an innocent man. I want to be able to walk down the street and feel good about myself. But I can't do that. I can't do that because I am still under suspicion. Don't you see? I'm under suspicion, and I'm innocent, and I hate it. And my counselor and the woman I love says there's nothing I can do to prove I'm innocent. Well, that's really great, isn't it? Here I'm set up, and yet I can't do anything. I can't even go back to trial.
Danny, believe me, I would love to do this for you. I would love to say, let me take it back into court. Let me win this case for you, but I can't. We have a theory that we were set up, but I can't prove that.
Now, if you just give it some time, this will all blow over. In a few months, hardly anyone will remember.
We've been through this before, Cricket. I will remember. I want to prove that I'm innocent. God, can anybody understand that here? Do you understand what I'm saying?
Danny, we do understand that, but with the evidence they have, there is no way I can win this case.
Are you all right, Mrs. Abbott?
Miguel, I didn't know you were there.
You're not getting any better at all, are you? I'm worried about you.
Miguel, I'll be fine. This kind of injury just has to heal at its own pace.
Isn't there something more they can give you for this comfort?
The doctors say they've given me all that they can right now.
You don't seem to suffer as much when your husband's around. Are you hiding it from him?
Miguel, I don't want you to say anything to Jack. Please, he'll just worry. I don't want him to be concerned. If I don't start feeling better, I'll go back to the doctors. But until then, this will just be between you and me, okay? Thanks.
All I can tell you is that I met Victor in that cabin purely by chance. Before I knew it, we were discussing marriage.
And you'd never discussed marriage before that?
He asked me to marry him a short time before, but we made no plans, no decisions. All I know is that somehow I ended up at this cabin with Victor, and I knew that's where I needed to be.
Well, I don't get it, Ash. I don't know how a woman like you could be in love with a man like Victor. I mean, sure, he's charming. But you are a kind, loving, sensitive woman. Victor is the kind of man who runs roughshod over people. Ash, if he really cared about you, he wouldn't have rushed you into marriage.
Fred, you don't know Victor the way I know him. You don't see the man I see.
That's because you're blinded by him.
I don't know what else I can say. But I really hope, when you're not hurting so much, that you can find it in your heart to forgive me. I hope we can still work together and that somehow we can still be friends.
You want to be friends, Ash? This is how we can still be friends. If you think I'm going to apologize for that, I'm not. I love you, Ash. And I'm not about to get over that overnight.
Brad, they want these figures over. Well, what have we here?
I was just leaving.
See you, sis. Why do I get the feeling I just missed the good part?
So that's it, John, huh? You can't win this case for me, can you? You can't prove that I'm innocent.
Danny, if we go back into court, the evidence stands on its own merit. Whether or not it was obtained properly is no longer an issue. Yeah, I'd say the odds are about 1,000 to 1 you'd be convicted. We can't even poke holes in their case. At this point, it's open and shut. Look, I know how important it is to you to be cleared. I know how important your reputation is to you. But I've got to ask you, is it worth it? Is it worth the chance you might lose 6 years of your life? Because that's what I believe would happen.
Would you just, do me a favor and, leave me alone now, right?
No, no, no. You don't love me, and I know now. No, no, no. You don't love me as I know now. 'Cause you left me, baby, and I've got no place to go now.
He's an explosives expert, and he is her only hope. Sylvester Stallone, Sharon Stone, the specialist.
Christmas pudding, roast potatoes and gravy, Auntie Dora's turkey and stuffing, mince pies, brandy butter.
Most people put on a few pounds over the Christmas holiday. If you're one of them, start your New Year diet with the Kellogg's Special K breakfast and get the scale moving in the right direction.
Fruitcake, fruitcake.
Kellogg's Special K. Lose the holiday fat.
Every year, nearly 4 million people use Sensodyne to help overcome the problem of sensitive teeth, because sensitive teeth hurt right to the center of the tooth. Advanced Formula Sensodyne F or new Freshman Sensodyne Gel, used every day, quickly and effectively calm the nerves that cause pain. Now there's a Sensodyne to suit all tastes. Sensodyne, Britain's most popular toothpaste for sensitive teeth.
If you're determined to cut out smoking, here's a way to ease nicotine cravings that really works. Nicorette Mint Gum. So next time you feel like a cigarette, don't be alarmed. Try fresh-tasting Nicorette Mint Gum.
Is that your Sarah? Yes. Those ankles, does she take after you?
Darling, I have to go. Come
I
on.
know. Hello, James.
Oh, hello. Oh, darling, you haven't sent the package.
Yes, a wedding present for something.
Waterford Crystal goblets.
Post office. It's quaint idea.
This is Waterford Crystal.
Yeah, post office.
The place where you get the stamps and
Ask
things.
them. See the chap or chapess behind desk
Yeah.
and ask. Give you many, many pieces of advice.
Yeah.
China, jewellery, they'll do it. Post office.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Ankles. Fathers. Shame.
In case you hadn't heard, Bratsky, Ashley and Victor are married now.
Jack, if you're here to rub my nose in it, I'm in no mood.
Hey, wait a minute. I am not the enemy. I'm on your side, remember? I was the one that warned you Newman would make his move if you turned your back on him for 5 minutes. Now, all of a sudden, she's Mrs. Newman. How the hell did you let this happen?
I didn't let it happen. I did everything I could to prevent it.
Well, obviously, that wasn't enough.
And well, Tracy's coming home sure as hell didn't help any.
I don't think the problem was Tracy.
Of course the problem wasn't Tracy. We both know that. But Tracy gave Ash an excuse to delay giving me an answer. I believed so deeply in what Ash and I had together.
I don't think Ashley meant to string you along. I suspect she was honestly more confused about her feelings than she herself realized.
That's what she just got done telling me. That things came together for her and Victor very suddenly.
You sound like you doubt that.
It's not that I doubt Ash so much, but I have a hard time believing that Victor didn't know exactly what he was going to do for a good long time.
It's funny. Nobody realizes what a manipulative bastard Victor Newman really is till they get run over personally. Then you learn you don't turn your back on this man. You don't let your guard down when you're in the same room with that snake.
Well, it seems to be true.
Look, I'm sorry you didn't get something going with my sister. I mean that. I fear for her, married to that egomaniac.
So do I, Jack, so do I.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. Ashley's happy as a clam. She thinks this marriage is what she's been waiting her whole life for. Only I know Victor Newman. I know what he does to the women who love him. And I can't help wondering just how long it's going to be till the great romance starts to fade.
Then what?
One thing, I guarantee it. I'm going to keep an eye out. I'm going to stay on top of this. I am not going to let Victor Newman do what he did to Ashley in the past. As long as she's happy, I won't interfere. But he better keep her happy. Real happy.
Good. I'm glad I caught you alone.
Well, what are you doing here?
Well, I just wanted us to have a few minutes together, just the two of us.
Oh, honey, nobody's happier for you than I am. But I gotta tell you, sure feels lonely seeing that empty room of yours.
You mean you miss picking up after me?
Not exactly. But, you know, it has been a real joy watching you grow, helping to take care of you, being a part of your life. Oh, I couldn't feel closer to you if you were my very own daughter.
Oh, babe. You know, you just said exactly what's in my heart. Do you know how much it's meant to me, knowing that through the years, I could always count on you, and I could always depend on you, and I know that you would always be there for me. You're like my second mom.
Ashley, what a sweet thing to say.
Oh, I mean it.
Now, you remember, this is still your home. I still care what happens to you.
I know. And I care about what happens to you, too, and everyone else here. But frankly, babe, you know, I'm really worried about Tracy.
I know, but don't worry. I'll keep an eye on your sister.
I really hope that someday she finds it in her heart to forgive me.
She will. May take a little time. But the two of you are sisters. Two girls could never be closer. It'll work out.
I hope so. Well, I guess I better go, but I'm not going to say goodbye.
You better not.
I'm sure gonna miss you.
You too, honey.
Oh.
Now, don't stay away too long now.
Okay.
You fully understand the arrangement?
Well, of course I do.
Remember, no slip of the tongue.
Victor, why do you keep reminding me about confidentiality?
Because, oh boy, you have been known to be too garrulous in the past.
Name one time. Just one time when you swore me to secrecy and I failed you. Just one time, huh? Now, you see, you can't, can you? Huh?
No, I can't. I can't just one time. Because there have been at least a dozen times.
So what are your plans, Brad?
Haven't made me yet.
Well, if you need a letter of recommendation, I'm happy to write one, okay?
What are you talking about?
Well, I assume you're leaving.
No, Jack, I'm not leaving. I think I'm just gonna sit tight for a while and see how things go.
Well, I gotta hand it to you, kid. You got more guts than I thought. To stick it out.
Yeah, well, I've had plenty of practice sticking things out, thanks to you.
Well, I guess we'll have to wait and see if it pays off for you this time, won't we?
Yeah, we'll just have to see, won't we?
I assure you, Victor, Ashley will learn nothing from me. I wasn't a member of Her Majesty's Secret Service for nothing, you know.
Of course not. I'm simply trying to impress upon you, sir, that this evening is very, very important to me.
You know, old boy, it's a joy to see you like this.
I feel alive again now. It's all because of my beautiful Ashley.
And I'm sure she's feeling the same way about you. After all, no one brings such excitement and romance to a woman's life as Victor Newman does. And this evening you've outdone yourself. I'm sure Ashley is in for an evening of sheer magic. And I'm delighted to be a major participant in the festivities.
This doesn't make any sense. Nothing makes any sense anymore. Oh. How could you do this to me, Roger? I mean, Rex. How could you string me along like that? I really thought you cared about me. Oh, Leanna, stop this. You can't keep lamenting over Roger. I mean, Rex. I don't know what I mean. Oh, I can't believe how stupid I was. I can't believe how stupid I still am. Whining like a lovesick schoolgirl. What will my readers say? They say I should write myself a letter. Dear Leanna, I can't stop crying over a lying, cheating man. Dear reader, what else is new? Yeah, who is it?
Me, Rex.
Rex? Is it really you?
Yeah, it's really me. You open the door, I want to talk to you.
Is this the same Rex that goes under the name Roving Roger?
Call me whatever you want to call me. Just please open the door and let me in. All right, now look. I've got to explain this to you, all right? I've got to set the record straight here. After that, you do whatever you want to do.
I can do whatever I want to do right now. And I say, get the hell out of here! Wait a minute. What are you doing? He only wanted to apologize, to explain.
Looking for me?
You didn't leave?
I was kind of hoping you might change your mind. Can I please come in and explain?
You can try.
That's all I ask. Fair hearing. Thank you. Listen, Leanna, didn't get an awful lot of sleep last night.
Oh? Was your ex-wife banging on your door trying to get into your room? Or were you having nightmares, thinking about what it would have been like to be married to Jill?
If your children like watching Disney's The Little Mermaid on television, they'll enjoy reading this weekly magazine, starring Ariel and her friends, including lovable Flounder and crabby Sebastian. There are exciting stories every week, some of which will be featured on regular tapes to help them read. There are pictures to colour and things to make and do, as well as this real-life nature watch to encourage them to take an interest in the creatures that live in the sea. Don't miss part 1 of Ariel's World.
Finding low-cost life assurance can be a tricky business, but now with Cornhill's new family cover plan, it's easy. Specially designed for people under 50, it's a 10-year policy for up to £50,000 of life cover with payments starting from as little as £8 a month. That's just 26 pence per day. And there's more good news. Cornhill requires no medical details or tests. You just sign a simple declaration when you apply.
That sounds nice and easy.
Well, you know what to do. Call us free on 0800 44 6644. The family cover plan also takes care of you if you become terminally ill, with half the benefit paid out straight away, helping to make your remaining time more comfortable.
That's a sensible idea.
Well, you know what to do. Dial Cornhill free on 0800 44 6644 for written details on the family cover plan. Operators are standing by to take your call. Phone now. It could be the most important call you make today.
To improve the way you rest and sleep, just touch these buttons. This is a Craftmatic adjustable bed control. And by touching these buttons, you can automatically sit up, elevate your legs, and adjust your body into numerous relaxing positions to get the best night's sleep of your life. In addition, Craftmatic turns reading, watching TV, chatting on the phone, doing crosswords, or just lying in bed and resting into a real treat. If you have to prop pillows and struggle to get comfortable in your bed, call us free and find out how easily you could relax and feel good in a Craftmatic adjustable bed. Call to get this information pack free by post. Operators are standing by on free phone, so call to get your free Craftmatic information pack by post right away.
Call 0800 337722 free. That's 0800 337722. Call free 0800 337722.
Hi, Douglas.
Oh. Hello, Ashley. Been shopping?
No, these are just a few things I picked up from the house. Just about cleared out my closets.
Can I help you with them?
Oh, no, thanks. That's all right. I'll take them up later. Are you going to be joining us for dinner tonight?
Oh, thank you, my dear. Not this evening. I'm working on a little project for Victor.
What project is that?
Oh, I'm sorry, my dear. I'm not at liberty to discuss it.
Sounds like a surprise.
No, really, I can't say a word. Victor would have me drawn and quartered.
Wait a minute. Is this project that important to him?
Please, dear, could we change the subject?
All right, Douglas. Far be it from me to tamper with this loyalty of yours. By the way, where's Victor?
He's upstairs changing.
Changing? Does this have anything to do with the surprise?
I never said that.
Well, Mr. Newman.
Hello, Mrs. Newman.
Yes, is Dr. Granger available? He's not. No message. Listen, could you, try Dr. Lasky, please? He's delivering a baby. Okay, thank you.
Hello there. It's the love of my life.
Oh, I'm just fine. How was your day?
Oh, a day like any other day. And yet it wasn't.
Problems?
No, not really.
Well, you act like you have something on your mind.
I got a lot on my mind, sweetheart.
Oh, yeah? Like what?
You know what I was wondering all day?
I can't begin to imagine.
You're gonna think this is weird.
With a build-up like that, I'm sure it is. What is it?
I was wondering when you're gonna start the show.
Ah.
Really? I want to tell the whole world about this. You're walking around as skinny as a rail.
I am not skinny.
You are skinny. Oh, honey, I'm just so excited. I'm the proud new papa to be. I want to enjoy every bit of this pregnancy, including you growing as big as a barn.
Oh, you say that now. Let's see how you feel when we get to that point.
I feel wonderful. I know I will. This whole thing is so exciting. Watching you change. Knowing there's a life growing inside of you. A baby. My baby. Look, I know you've been through this before. Bear with me, I never have. I still look at it as a miracle.
It is a miracle. I think it's the greatest experience any two people can share, having a baby.
A baby conceived in love. You asked me about my day. I saw my sister.
Ashley?
Yeah.
That's the first time you've seen her since she became Mrs. Victor Newman, isn't it?
Hey, Duchess, after all the excitement last night, what do you say we go out, have a nice quiet dinner somewhere?
Oh, darling, that's a lovely idea, but I think I am going to stay home.
No. There's the gleam in your eye. Now, is there something going on around here that I don't know about?
Well, I just have this feeling that Rex is going to come back later, and I would like to be here to greet him.
Mother, now, I know he came here last night because he needed a bed. I mean, all the hotels are sold out because of the convention, but I wouldn't read much more into that. As a matter of fact, I think he may have resented that little party he threw last night.
Perhaps for a while. But he's also going to realize I did him the greatest favor in his life. He is actually freed from Jill.
I have to admire your positive thinking.
Well, to be perfectly honest, my darling, I'm going to have to rely on more than just positive thinking.
Is there something you're holding back from me?
Just one thing. When Rex went out this morning, he left his suitcases here.
Okay. Roger or Rex or whatever. You're on. Give it your best shot.
All right, well, I think the first thing we better not do is waste time on things you already know.
So I was right. You did help Jill try and set me up. That's how it all started.
That's how it started. That's correct. But, now, believe me, once I met you, I did not go through with it.
What? What about that nasty little picture in the Inquisitor that says that you're lying?
That's my very point. I was guilty, but not that guilty. See, all right, let me explain this. It's a lot of important things you don't know.
Yeah, I doubt it.
Now, come on, just listen to this. Now, please. Look, here's what happened. After I got involved in this little plot, this little scheme with Jill, I met somebody that I didn't expect to meet. Somebody that was very fresh and bright and very, very pretty. Somebody that I liked the minute I laid eyes on her.
I'm supposed to believe
No, you're supposed to just listen. See, when that picture came out, I was as shocked as you were because I had no part of that. But, of course, at that point, I realized I was certainly part of a plot to ruin the career of a wonderful young lady, certainly a young lady that didn't deserve that to happen to her. Do you understand? That made me feel lousy. That's when I started prompting you to hang in there. And it was your intelligence. It was your guts. You did hang in there. You did make it work. You did that. Remember that? You stayed on the air.
I admit you helped
No.
someone.
I don't want any credit. God, no. That was the least I could do. My point here is, see, I was satisfied that I had kind of undone some of the damage that I'd caused. Make sense? See, the problem was I couldn't get you out of my mind. I couldn't forget you. Couldn't stop thinking about you. That's why I kept showing up on your doorstep.
Back to the scene of the crime, huh?
Look, I'm very guilty about a lot of things here. But pretending my feelings for you was not one of them. Or respecting you and cherishing you. Wanting to have you around. Leona, there were lots of lies. But the way I felt about you, absolutely on the level. That's what I want you to get right now. Okay. You take care of yourself. You're doing a great job. And just by the way, you are magnificent.
You know something, Mr. Rex Sterling? You're awfully cute when you feel guilty.
Victor, I have a feeling you won't be needing me now.
Feeling is right, old boy. But I do need you later.
Well, of course.
So, Mr. Newman, what is this all about?
What is what all about?
You? Your tux? Is this some kind of formal occasion?
My darling. With a beautiful bride as you are, every evening is an occasion.
In formal dress?
Do you know how much I love you, my beautiful Ashley?
You just changed the subject.
Did I?
Yes.
The subject is you.
Now tell me something. Does this occasion, is it formal? Because I haven't brought my gowns over yet.
I love you so much.
Victor, what's going on?
Oh, I need some excitement in my life. Maybe I'll fill in this computer dating thingy.
Wouldn't you rather have a nice hot snack?
Now, describe your dream date.
A baked potato with a generous topping of creamy Philadelphia.
Generous, yes. Smooth, sophisticated, cool, luxurious, irresistible.
See, I was right. You don't need a man at all. You just needed a new serving suggestion.
To make Menu Master's world cuisine chicken tikka makanwala, we use only chickens that have attained perfection. Each grain of rice is polished on young maidens' knees.
The vegetable curry must match the colour of the hills of Tuk-Tuk, whilst every bhaji is individually woven by yetis. This world cuisine chicken tikka makanwala is so delicious, thousands exploded with happiness. Only far-fetched meals pass the bird's eye.
Hello? I want to book a family holiday. Great value for money, with action in the water, fun fairs, great entertainment. I know it's asking a lot. Any ideas?
Butlins, of course.
To help take care of your teeth and gums, there are toothpastes made to fight decay, tartar, plaque bacteria that can cause gum problems. There's even the antibacterial action of a mouthwash.
Aren't there toothpaste that can do all this in one?
Yes, and now there's new Crest Complete. We've added to the effective protection of Crest toothpaste the antibacterial action of a mouthwash to help fight decay, tartar, and the plaque bacteria that can cause gum problems, all in one. New Crest Complete. Protection all in one.
It's you.
The Super Draw jackpot is a guaranteed £10 million. Get your ticket now, and it could be you.
Yes, this is the first time I've seen Ashley since the big event.
How'd she look? Like the radiant bride?
She seemed very happy. Look, Ashley thinks it would be a good idea if the four of us tried to maintain a tenable relationship.
Oh. And how does she propose to accomplish that?
She thought we might get off to a good start by having dinner together. Nikki, Ashley looks at this whole thing as a new beginning for all of us. She and Victor are newly married. You and I are expecting our first child. She looks at it as an opportunity to put the past behind us.
Jack, no matter how magnanimous Ashley is trying to be, I just don't feel right about the four of us having dinner together. In fact, I feel like we're inviting disaster. Look, maybe in a couple weeks when I'm feeling more myself, maybe I'll react differently.
Okay, fine. I don't want to push you. I'm not that surprised by your reaction, honestly. I just didn't want to answer without discussing it with you first.
I'm sorry. I just don't feel like having anything to do with Ashley or
It's okay. It's
Victor
okay.
right
It's
now.
okay. It's okay. I'll talk to Ashley.
I know you wanted some time alone.
Yeah.
I couldn't stand it up there by myself any longer.
Did you see this? This is, you know, well, this was, you know, the plans I made for the wedding and the honeymoon, you know, and I talked to the travel agent. She told me that, you know, out of all these great places that, she said, definitely you gotta go to Hawaii, you know, for your honeymoon, and especially your wedding. She said it's amazing, and she told me, you know, they have this like a helicopter that takes you to